On an 82-degree Sunday afternoon, we welcome you to Red Wilson Field for Y-D Red Sox baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. It's a free fall for the Y-D Red Sox, who have lost 5 in a row, the worst losing streak for Y-D in over a decade. This afternoon, the Red Sox welcome in the best team on Cape record-wise, looking to end the losing streak to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth, Carlo Jimenez alongside Sam Lebowitz. And Sam, the Red Sox have had multiple opportunities to get wins in this losing streak, brought the tying run to the plate yesterday, could not get it done. What has stood out the most to you in this 5-game slide?
Well, Carlo, I think the biggest thing in this slide is the tack-on runs that their opponents have been able to drive in against the Red Sox bullpen. We saw it again last night. They had that game to 3-2, but before you knew it, in the late innings, it was 6-2 because Luke Jewett gave up a couple of late runs, and all of a sudden, it was just too much for the Red Sox to come back from. The last time we were here, Red Wilson, the Red Sox, they were trailing 3-1, and then a 6-run Orleans ninth inning against 3 different Red Sox relievers made it 9-1. Just too much to come back from. That's been the case the last 4 games in this 5-game losing streak. The tack-on runs when the Red Sox have had a chance to come back have just proven too difficult to come back from.
You look at the other side, and a Hyannis team that isn't playing that much better. The Harbor Hawks with just 1 win over their last 4 games. How does Y-D take advantage of another reeling team looking to get back in that win column?
I think that the biggest thing that the Red Sox have in their favor today is the fact that they're the ones on the longer losing streak, and the fact that the Harbor Hawks have really come in here and taken the Red Sox to the laundry, to the dry cleaners this year for the most part. They've won 2 of the 3 these two teams have played so far, and the third was a tie that the Harbor Hawks were down to their final out in and wound up scoring the tying run in the 9th inning and coming home with a tie. So the Red Sox haven't beaten them yet, and you go back to the last time these two teams squared off in Hartford when the Red Sox got behind 9-0 in the first 3 innings. So if Hyannis comes in here and thinks this is the game that is going to get them off their losing streak, that this is just going to be another easy win because they've taken care of the Red Sox so far this summer, and the Red Sox are on a longer losing streak than them, well, the Red Sox, I think that they have to prove that the Harbor Hawks have another thing coming.
Y-D Red Sox looking to down the Hyannis Harbor Hawks for the first time this summer. They have not beaten Hyannis in 12 straight summers. We'll catch you on the flip side after the national anthem for starting lineups and the pitchers and umpires. Hyannis and Y-D for the final time here at Red Wilson Field. The top 2 teams in the division going at it. And we're off here at Red Wilson Field after a beautiful national anthem by our team photographer, social media, the Swiss Army knife of the Y-D Red Sox intern group, Sadie Parker. We welcome you to Y-D versus Hyannis for the final time in the regular season in the summer of 2022. Let's get you the starting lineup for the team from Hyannis. It begins with Mitch Jebb out of Michigan State. Mike Sirota from Northeastern bats second, playing right field today. Nolan Shanuel bats third from Florida Atlantic. Cole McConnell out of Louisiana Tech bats fourth, playing center. Behind the dish, Ponch O. Ruiz from San Diego State, the junior in the fifth spot. Drew Erhard in the sixth spot out of Tampa, playing third. Tito Flores, a Michigan hitter, plays left field today. He's batting seventh. Christian Moore bats eighth out of Tennessee, playing second. And Caleb Spur from Endicott is the designated hitter in the 9-hole. They'll be facing off against Trey Meza atop the mound for the Y-D Red Sox, making his first start of the summer in his second appearance. Sam, we've only seen Meza for one inning this summer, but he gets the starting nod. What do you remember from that inning against Orleans back on July 27th?
Not a whole lot, to be honest, Carlo, because he didn't really have much of a chance to get his feet wet. But what you're going to see out of Trajan is a guy who will miss some bats, but not going to be a huge strikeout guy, and occasionally can get a little wild, but for the most part, you're looking at a guy who'll fill up the strike zone and keep the ball in the ballpark. He only allowed 3 home runs this year in 96 innings for New Mexico State, or excuse me, for Cochise College. He's heading to New Mexico State.
96 in the third with 133 strikeouts. That's a lot. I think that tops the team at most in the spring.
I think he may have more innings than any pitcher that the Red Sox have had this summer from their spring seasons.
Meza digs in his red cleats, right toe on the first base side of the rubber, and looks towards the left, the out of Michigan State, Mitch Jebb. First pitch home is a changeup away. 1 ball and no strikes. And we are off here at Red Wilson Field at 4:31, starting about a minute late. Jebb has been electric as of late. 1-0 is a fastball that skips in. 2 balls and no strikes. Mitch Jebb in his last 4 games, 11 for 16, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. And don't let him get on base because he's stolen a base in 7 straight. Really, Sam, making a late push for MVP.
Absolutely, Carlo.
2-0, Meza throws a changeup, slowly tapped first base side. Johnny Long, the first baseman, runs to it on the infield grass, but no play to first. Jebb, with his good speed, beats it out. Infield single on a ball that Jebb just tops to first. Let's get you the rest of the defense for Y-D. Gunnar Antillion is at second. Woody Hading at short. Mike Bovey at third. Y-D Perez behind the plate, putting the signs down. Homer Bush Jr. is in left. Cole Gehrig back in the lineup in center. And Brady Montgomery roams right field. Jebb with the chance to extend that stolen base streak. He leads at first. 22 stolen bases for him. Only trails his teammate Riku Nishida with 24. As here's the right-handed bat of Mike Sirota. Opening offering, runner goes, and a fastball misses away, and it bounces out of the glove of Y-D Perez up the first baseline, and Mitch Jebb's stolen base streak continues. He's got 23 on the summer and 8 straight games with a stolen base.
And really only 3 pitches into this game, and the Harbor Hawks, who have been struggling as of late, are already in prime position to score an early run.
Runner in scoring position for Hyannis, who did not score yesterday. Blanketed for the first time this summer in a 3-0 loss to the Orleans Firebirds. Jebb with a healthy lead at second, the 1-0. Big curveball drops in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Runner at second, no score. We're just getting going. Y-D Red Sox trying to avoid losing 6 in a row. Would be their first 6-game losing streak in who knows how long. Our records books go back to 2010. They have not lost a 6 in a row back to 2010. Throw back to second, and racing back the second baseman Antillion can't glove it. Pops out of his glove. No tag applied. Jebb back on his feet. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks wearing the pinstripe pants. Blue tops, orange numbers on the backside. Orange Hyannis across the chest with the numbers underneath the NIS on the left side of the jersey. Jeb's pants a little brown, 1-1. Fastball misses well inside. 2 balls and a strike. Going to see fastball, curveball, changeup from Meza. A hit, a stolen base. And Mitch Jeb, who was a home run away from the cycle last time he played the Y-D Red Sox, leads at second. Syracuse rests the bat on the right shoulder, 2-1. Slider misses off the outer edge. He will mix in that slider from time to time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It is host family appreciation night at the ballpark today. Every host family was honored pregame. A lot of people out down the left field line at Red Wilson. 2-2. Fastball high. 3 balls and 2 strikes and a full count to Mike Sirota, the former Brewster Whitecap, who in his 15 games with these Hyannis Harbor Hawks is hitting .358. Although trying to break up an 0-for-6 streak. First time he has not had a hit in back-to-back games as a Hyannis Harbor Hawk. Jeb at second, the go-ahead run. 3-2. Slider just misses away. Not enticing Ronaldo Cockrum behind the plate. On to first goes Mike Sirota. 2 on, nobody out. Joseph Caraco down at first. Brandon Johnson is at third. And here is Nolan Shanua. And Sam, not the start you want if you're the Y-D Red Sox trying to end a free fall, and Hyannis with 2 on and nobody out.
All it takes is a ground ball to make this a little bit easier if you're Trey Meza. Shanuel is a guy who's been struggling as of late in a big way, and this could be an important batter here.
Throw back to second. They caught Jeb off the bag, but not in time. The throw did not get back there. Jeb was in the middle of going to third, Sam, and froze on the move by Meza. And it looked like Meza just didn't throw the ball, or Haydeen, who's playing over there at second, the shortstop, didn't get back to the bag.
He had taken a step off that front foot, and they almost had him.
Left-handed bat of Shanuel looks on. The pitch to him. Changeup catches the outside part of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Jeb at second. Sirota at first. Nobody out. Top of the first inning. Infield swung over to the right. Haydeen playing to the right of second. And Tillian, the second baseman, in the hole. And Johnny Long playing up the line. Johnny back in the lineup after being out the last couple of days. Shanuel holds the bat above his head. 0-1. He takes a changeup that misses away. Flag blowing gently out to left. Some fans by the scoreboard and left. A lot out in straightaway center. A big family gathering hanging out in the shade. Good speed on the base paths. Jeb at second as the 1-1 paints the bottom of the zone. Fastball in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sirota at first has 2 stolen bases. And Shanuel at the plate has 4. Hyannis has the crown of most stolen bases this summer. They already have 1 with Mitch Jeb. A 1-2 count. Meza looking for the first out of the top of the first inning with 2 on. He looks at second, looks home, and fakes a throw back to second. It's a very unique stance for Shanuel, Sam. His hands are almost above his head when he gets set, stretching the arms out.
Almost Craig Counsell-esque.
1-2 down the hill. Fastball off the outer edge. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 on and nobody out.
Shanuel's been struggling as of late. The 2 for 27 has his average down to 204 on the season. The OPS at 626, but Harbor Hawks still putting him in that 3 spot, trusting guy who got off to a great start offensively for them as they head down the stretch.
He's 0 for his last 8, 2-2. Change up in the dirt. Perez lunges to his left to block it in front of him. The Y-D Red Sox are in their white home unis. Red Sox across the chest in red. Numbers on the backside outlined in black with a red stripe down the side of the pants. Well, Shanuel doesn't have a hit in his last 3 games, Sam. He does have 5 walks over that stretch, so he does see the baseball well. Full count to him, 2 on, nobody out. Runners will get a head start. Here's the pitch. And he swings and lifts one in the air into left center field. The left fielder, Homer Bush Jr., racing over. Center fielder Carrick calls him off, loses his hat, but makes the catch. Jeb has to retreat back to second, and it's nice to have you, Cole Carrick, on a nice play in right center field for out number 1.
Cole Carrick has played such a fine defensive center field for the Red Sox this year. Really found a home. We didn't know where, coming into the season, the utility guy was going to play him most. He played a lot of shortstop for Arizona State, or for San Diego State this year, but he's been so fine out there in center. Went about a country mile to catch that ball about 5 feet in front of the fence and avoid crashing into that chain link fencing in left center. A really fine play. And then to get rid of the baseball quickly to make sure that Jeb couldn't advance. It's a big first out for Trey Meza.
Keeps the runners where they are with Jeb at second and Sirota at first. Here's the cleanup hitter, the lefty Cole McConnell. Meza fakes a throw back to second. And now all of a sudden, Sam, a ground ball up the middle, and the Y-D Red Sox could get out of this frame after allowing Hyannis' first 2 batters to reach. McConnell stands still in the box. First pitch to him, it's a fastball away. 1 ball and no strikes. Cole McConnell, an all-star starter for Hyannis. Is 5th on Cape in RBIs with 20. He excels in these situations. Bright orange gloves, gripping his black dipped bat. 1-0. Curveball. Misses away. 2 balls and no strikes. Meza, a laborious top of the first. No score, Y-D and Hyannis. Red Sox have lost 5 in a row, trying to avoid 6 in a row. Playing their last game against these Western Division teams. Snap back throw to second. It's over the head of Hayden and into center field. Both runners advance 90 feet. Jeb gets the go sign around third as Carrick fumbles it in center field and then airmails it over the catcher Perez, and a run comes home. 2 errors, and Hyannis picks up a run as Meza threw it over the head of the shortstop Hayden, and Carrick threw it over the head of the catcher Perez, and the Harbor Hawks are on the board. It's 1-0 Hyannis over Y-D in the top of the first.
Just compounding errors, a difficult start for the Red Sox. It was an error in center field that really kicked off the scoring for Falmouth yesterday and set the tone at Go Fuller Field, and couple of errors on the same play here. The Red Sox continue to play some sloppy baseball and not the start you're hoping for. And the Harbor Hawks, a chance for another run just 90 feet away with 1 away.
McConnell in a 2-0 count. Meza's pitch. Fastball away. 3 balls and no strikes. And now, after being 1 ground ball away from maybe getting out of the inning, the infield comes in as Hyannis is 1 fly ball away from adding another tally on the board, leading 1-0 in the top of the first. 3-0. Fastball off the outer edge. And a walk to Cole McConnell, who reaches 1 out on the board, 1 run across, 2 runners on. Here's Pancho Ruiz from San Diego State. And Sam, it feels like the 2 errors to begin this game. We talked about it off the air. Y-D needed to set the tone early, and not the way you want to start if you're the Red Sox.
Yeah, you wanted to be the first one on the scoreboard today if possible. You wanted a nice, quick start from Meza, get you off on the right foot.
Meza's first pitch to Ruiz is a fastball inside, and Trey has thrown 5 straight balls. Infield up the middle, a double play depth. Trying to turn 2 with 1 out, and Y-D Perez, in his first start as a catcher, is going to have a meeting with Meza and Rayola, who are going to try to figure this one out. Has not been pretty for Meza to begin.
Couple of walks. He had 44 walks across his 22 outings this year, so average 2 per start, 2 per outing, and only had 17 starts, 5 relief appearances, but just a little bit too high on the walk rate. I'm sure he'll tell you the same thing, but still you expect to have him around the plate because of the strikeout numbers and the overall impressive stat line. He won 14 ball games for Cochise College this year, had an ERA under 3, and kept the ball in the ballpark
So 2 on with 1 out. This will be pitch number 21 of the inning. If you're just joining us, started with a Mitch Jebb infield single. A ball has not left the outfield and landed in the field of play. Cole Carrick made a nice play in center on a Shanuel fly out to left center. But Hyannis has not hit the ball hard. 1-0. Slider misses away. 2 balls and no strikes. So Jebb singles. He moves to second on the stolen base. Sirota walks behind him. And then on a pickoff move to second, Meza airmails the shortstop Haydeen. Jebb goes to third. Sirota goes to second. And then 2-0. Runner goes, swinging he went, and the throw on, and a nice stab by Meza. Y-D Perez's throw was destined for the outfield, and Meza had to leap and snag the baseball as McConnell is on to second with a stolen base. And Meza might have saved another run. So Sirota's at second, Jebb's at third after the air. And that's number 11 on the summer for Cole McConnell. And then Cole Carrick kicks the ball in center and airmails the catcher. 2-1, swinging a slow ground ball through the infield into left field, a base hit. Scoring is Sirota. McConnell stumbles around third. He has to go back to the bag. Throw in from the left fielder, Bush, cut off by the hit by the third baseman, Bovey. And another run in. It's 2-0. And Sam, for a team that's trying to avoid losing 6 in a row for the first time in over a decade, a nightmare start for the free-falling Y-D Red Sox.
Yeah, not what you were looking for coming out of the gate today. 3 games left on the summer season, and early work in the bullpen behind Trey Meza, who still has just 1 out on the scoreboard. Still, if you can get a ground ball, you can get out of this with fairly minimal damage, considering the 2 hits, the 2 walks, and the 2 errors, but the Red Sox are going to need to get it in gear soon.
Here's the right-handed bat of Drew Earhart. He shows bunt, pulls the bunt back. And a changeup misses low, 1 ball and no strikes. Just 2 hits in the inning, but 2 runs have come across. 2 stolen bases for Hyannis and a Harbor Hawk team that has won 1 of their last 5. Looking for a big win. They lead the Bourne Braves atop that Western Division by a single point. 1-0. Another bunt. This one fouled on the first base line. Off the end of the bat of the senior from Tampa. Earhart. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 on and 1 out. Top of the first inning, 2-0. Hyannis leads. Earhart, a 143 hitter, playing in just his 5th game with the Harbor Hawks. His dad played in the Yankees organization in the 80s. Waves the bat, belt high. Meza peeks over his left shoulder towards first. Leading there is Ruiz. No stolen bases for him. 1-1. And swinging and sending one up the middle. Drew Earhart has another base hit as he scores a run. McConnell jogs home as Carrick fields it in center field. And the wheels starting to fall off for the Y-D Red Sox. 1 out and 3 runs across for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the top of the first as Drew Earhart picks up his first RBI of the summer.
And nothing's really been sharp for Trey Meza. That was just a little slider out over the plate. And Earhart, a nice job to get the barrel to it and punch it into center field.
So in stands the righty Tito Flores, and Sam, reminiscent of that game in Hartford. Opening offering is a slider that nicks the outside part of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. You think about that game in which the Y-D Red Sox gave up 4 in the opening frame and just didn't go well from them to start. Same story here against Hyannis today.
Yeah, similar start. Some walks, some singles up the middle, but no extra base hits and a crooked number on the board early.
0-1. Changeup misses off the outer edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Somebody up and at him in that Red Sox pen.
It's Vaughn Moderer, the right-hander out of Cal.
Meza looking to get out of the top of the first. Hyannis has already pushed 3 across. With 1 out, the 1-1. Fastball high. At second is Ruiz. He picked up an RBI single. At first is Earhart. He also picked up an RBI single. Both those guys hit below 200. Flag drifting in left. Red Sox looking to keep this a 3-run game, and the 2-0 hits the hands of Tito Flores as it comes in on him and nails him on his wrist. Left wrist, he shakes the glove off and trying to shake out that hand. Walking up to first. On to third goes Pancho Ruiz. At second is Drew Earhart. As Tito Flores is hit by a pitch, a Y-D specialty. The Red Sox pitching staff has hit more batters than anybody else on Cape Cod. And here's the 8th batter of the inning. It's Christian Moore. We are 20 minutes into the top of the first. This is about to be pitch number 31 for Trey Meza, who's recorded a singular out. And Scott Pickler might be going to Vaughn Matter. 7 batters come to the plate, 3 come across, bases are loaded, and we will step aside here on the Y-D Red Sox radio network. It is 3-0 Hyannis. Vaughn Matter will try to clean up in the top of the first. We welcome you back to Merrill Red Wilson Field, where things are not going the Y-D Red Sox way. 3 runs already across. We are an out into this game. It's the top of the first inning, and the bases are loaded. New pitcher out of the pen, Vaughn Matter from Berkeley. A right-handed pitcher faces Christian Moore, the right-handed batter, with Ruiz at third, Earhart at second, Flores at first. Infield in at the corners, opening offering. Slider pinks the outside part of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Matter appearing in his 2nd game this summer for the Y-D Red Sox. Pitched against Wareham back on July 26th. An inning of work, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, no hits. Sets at the belt, kicks 0-1. Fastball misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And this is a difficult situation to be thrust into if you're Vaughn Matterer, but a guy who had a good year for Cal out of the bullpen is tasked with being the fireman today, and got to treat this as an audition for a bigger role in the playoffs to come if you're this right-hander out of Cal.
Matters 1-1. Big swing and a miss on a slider. No balls and 2 strikes. Mostly fastball splitter slider from Vaughn out of San Rafael, California.
And those were 2 of the first 3 pitches. Those 2 sliders were both very, very good ones, especially that last one to Christian Moore. And something that Trey Meza didn't have a single one of, a single swinging miss through his first 30-something pitches before he left.
Open stance for Moore. 1-2. Fastball, Moore pokes one into center field, a base hit. Rounding third and coming home, Pancho Ruiz scores. Carrick scoops it up in center. His throw home is wide as Drew Earhart slides home safely. And 2 more runs come across on a 2 RBI single from Christian Moore. It's 5-0 Hyannis with 1 out on the board in the top of the first.
Red Sox just getting singled to death right now. Obviously, Trey Meza didn't do any favors for himself with a couple of walks and a hit by pitch, but no extra base hits in this inning. The Harbor Hawks are just keeping it up the center of the diamond and finding holes.
So runners at second and first, Flores at second, Christian Moore at first. Here's the 9th batter of the inning. It's Caleb Spur. Holds the bat in front of his chest. Opening offering. Slider catches the zone. No balls in 1 strike. 5 top of the first runs for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Last time these two teams played off, Hyannis had 4 in the top of the first. They have beaten that today. 0-1. Big swing and a foul tip into the glove of Perez on a splitter. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes quickly. Not a horrible pitch to Christian Moore there, Sam, but just able to get bat to ball and poke one through the middle.
Just a low fastball that was away from him, and he reached out for it and got the barrel to it and hit it just hard enough to sneak it through the infield.
Spur out of Endicott. Hotsu. And he swings and misses. Chases a slider, and there's the 2nd out of the top of the first. And the Y-D Red Sox fans, after 26 minutes of top of the first inning baseball, looking for 1 more out. Mitch Jebb, who began this frame 26 minutes ago, singled and stole a base. Left-handed batter digs in. I can't remember not only an inning, Sam, going this bad, but a first frame for Y-D. This seems to be the bottom this summer.
Yeah, it feels like we're approaching rock bottom if we're not already there for a Y-D team that's lost 5 in a row.
Opening off for the lefty, Jebb takes a nasty slider that bends into the back door for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike.
But as difficult as this has been to watch this week, this Red Sox stretch where they haven't won a baseball game since before the All-Star break, the good news is that these games probably won't ultimately affect the final result of the summer season for the Red Sox because they already have their playoff spot.
0-1. Slider misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on, 2 out. 5-0 Hyannis. Top of the first. That's right, top of the first. Flag blowing gently out to left. The trees swaying back and forth in straightaway center. Partly cloudy overhead here in South Yarmouth. And the Y-D Red Sox trying to avoid losing 6 in a row for the first time in over a decade. Not a good start to that. Mata 1-1. Slider finds the bottom of the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Sam, that slider has been money for Vaughn.
It's been effective so far through his first few batters. He gave up the hit on a fastball, but everything else for the most part has been sliders, and they've looked good. He's been able to dot them for strikes, and he's gotten a couple of swinging strikes on them.
2 on, 2 out. Red Sox trying to get out of a nightmare top of the first here at Red Wilson. Motters 1-2. Poked foul left field line over towards the coach's area. And Jebb stays alive. Mitch Jebb doesn't strike out a whole bunch. Just 22 strikeouts through his first 35 games. He's gotten more stolen bases than strikeouts. That's usually pretty good.
Carlo, yeah, you mentioned it. It's a pretty good recent stretch that Mitch Jebb is on, a chance to maybe win MVP if he can finish even stronger.
Matt Shaw has been the front runner for a while, but Jebb making a push on the Maryland shortstop. 2 on, 2 out, 1-2. Jebb swings and golfs one foul down the third base line.
He just seems to always find his way on base, find barrel to baseball, and if he hits something in play that's not a clear base hit like we saw leading off the game, he runs well enough to beat out infield hits, to cause havoc on the base paths, to be able to just make your life a little difficult if you're a defense.
Jeb, even in yesterday's game in which Hyannis didn't score, he went 3 for 4 with a stolen base. 1-2. And he swings and pokes one right side of the infield, sharply on the ground. Antillian slides to his right. The second baseman fields from his knees, throws to first in time, and that does it. 28 minutes later, the top of the first inning is over at Red Wilson Field, but not before 5 runs come across on 4 hits, 2 left on. We head to the bottom of the first. No score. 5-0. Hyannis leads Y-D.
T-Mobile's a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile is committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military and veterans. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more.
We welcome you back to Red Wilson Field, where the Y-D Red Sox find themselves in a 5-0 hole as we begin the bottom of the first inning. Let's get to the lineup for the home team looking to climb the hill here in South Yarmouth. Homer Bush Jr. leads things off out of Grand Canyon. Woody Haydeen bats second from Irvine. Hayden Schott bats third out of Columbia. Cole Carrig back in the lineup in the cleanup spot out of San Diego State. Mike Bovey, the junior from Omaha, bats fifth. Johnny Long out of Long Beach State bats sixth. 79, Gunnar Antillian from New Mexico State playing second today. Dom Freeberger out of Yukon in right bats eighth. And Waldy Perez, the catcher, bats ninth. They'll be facing on the left-handed arm of Jacob Berry, who stands at 6'10" atop the mound. When Sam, as tall as he has been fantastic. A 1.32 ERA in 20 1/3, making his 4th start of the summer. First pitch to the ready. And Bush swings and skies one down the right field line in foul territory. Shanuel running in foul territory makes the catch like a wide receiver trying to tiptoe the sideline. He stopped in front of that white line in the foul territory and leaned over to snare the baseball. There's one away.
That's an outstanding play. The wherewithal to know where that line is and to be able to plant your toes and just reach out over. A very, very nice play by Nolan Shanuel to start this bottom of the first and just keep the momentum in favor of these Harbor Hawks.
5-0 Hyannis. Here's the switch hitter, Woody Haydeen, batting from the right side. He appraises a first pitch fastball for a strike. In the count, no balls and 1 strike. 5 top of the first runs. Here's the 0-1. Haydeen looks at a curveball that drops in quickly. No balls and 2 strikes. And Sam, for the 6'10", Jacob Berry doesn't throw hard, but with that release point, 0-2. Haydeen takes a ball in the dirt. Fastball skips back. How does that affect Y-D hitters?
Well, he releases it so much closer to home plate than the average pitcher because he's 6'10" that it gets on you a lot quicker. When it's 90-92 out of his hand, it looks to the hitter like it might be more like 96 to 98. It just gets on you, and it's the same effect with the breaking ball, too.
The 1-2. Haydeen takes strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Ronaldo Cockrum rings up Woody Haydeen, and Hyannis has all the momentum in this one. A pretty play by Shanuel and a strikeout looking from Jacob Berry. Here's Hayden Schott with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Took Y-D 25 minutes to record their 2 outs at the top of the first. And Berry has thrown 5 pitches. Here comes his 6th to the lefty. Schott slaps it foul down the left field line over towards the berm. Pretty good crowd on hand. Fans scattered throughout the outfield. A couple rows of chairs down the left field and right field lines. A light breeze, the leaves of the trees dancing out in center. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Hayden shot not happy with himself as he waves at a slider. No balls and 2 strikes. Red Sox have lost 5 in a row. The 0-2. Shot fouls one back to the screen. Currently trailing 5-0 in the bottom of the first.
Barry is a tough task this summer. He's been outstanding. Hasn't given up more than 3 hits in a single outing. Hasn't given up more than 1 run in a single outing.
0-2. Shot pops one up down the first baseline, racing over the third baseman Earhart, and in foul territory, he watches it bounce out of play. Almost had another Nolan Shanuel opportunity, but that ball drifted past the white painted line. And Hayden Schott working somewhat of a long at-bat here with Jake Berry, whose blue top jersey flaps in the wind. He likes the second shot, the 0-2 to the plate. Swing and a miss. Schott chases a fastball, and he's tardy. And back-to-back strikeouts end of the bottom of the first. The Hyannis Harborhawks sit down Y-D in order. It's 5-0 as we head to the second inning. Back out there, Vaughn Mutter trying to keep this a 5-run game.
Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists offers premier emergency and specialty care for your pet when it matters most. Located in Buzzards Bay and Dennis. Learn more at CapeCodVetSpecialists.com. That's CapeCodVetSpecialists.com.
We welcome you back to Y-D Red Sox baseball here on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. I'm Carlo Jimenez alongside my good buddy Sam Lebowitz, our producer Zack Clapp. Top of the second, and it's 5-0. The Hyannis Harborhawks on top of the Y-D Red Sox after a 5 spot in the top of the first. Vaughn Mutter, who didn't begin this game, came in for Trey Meza with 1 out in the first, atop the mound out of California. And he faces the ready Mike Sirota. 2-3-4 due up for Hyannis. Sirota walked and scored back in the first. 10 batters came to the plate in that first inning. Opening offering to him. Slider catches the bottom of the zone. Good pitch by Mutter, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Defense swings over to the left for the right-handed bat of Sirota. Second baseman Antillian playing over the bag at second. The 0-1. And Sirota hits one the other way into right center field, a base hit. Just as Antillian shifts, Mike says, okay, I'll put it right where you just were. And a leadoff single for the second straight inning for Hyannis. Here's Nolan Shanuel.
Well, you're hoping to get off to a better start in this second inning if you're the Red Sox on defense, but another line drive up the middle. Exactly the same thing that about 3 of Mike Sirota's teammates did in the top half of the first inning. And again, you're going to have to contend with traffic in this second inning and try to keep this where it is.
Shanuel, the lefty, opening offering to him, and he foul tips a fastball. No balls and 1 strike. Infield shifts to the right. The second shortstop, Haydeen, over to the right of second. Antillian is in the hole. Single by Sirota. He's at first. He has 2 stolen bases this summer. Not world-class speed. Throw back to first. Did they get him off the bag? Oh, it's close. Long's tag not in time. Sirota was hopping towards second as Mutter threw that ball to first. Nolan Shanuel hit one hard back in that first inning into left center field, but Cole Carrick was able to track it down. Another throw to first, this time leaping back on his feet. Sirota is back to the bag. And really, Sam, you think back to those 10 batters in that first inning, Shonowell's ball was the hardest hit one.
Yeah, he came the closest to leaving the yard or getting extra bases, almost homer to left center.
A 1, and he watches a fastball miss above the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5-0 Hyannis, top of the second inning with nobody out. Sirota at first. Partly cloudy skies. Final matchup of the summer between these two. Hyannis has won 2. These two tied the other. 1-1. Shonowell shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a fastball low. And the count, 2 balls and a strike. Fans murring about down the third base line and first base line. A Red Sox loss today would give them the longest losing streak of the summer by any team on Cape. At 6, 3 teams have lost 5. 2-1. Shonowell barely taps one towards the Hyannis dugout. Splitter by Motter. Falmouth and Wareham, the other 2 teams who have lost 5 games in a row. Flag gusts out the left, as it does so much here at Red Wilson Field. 5-0 Hyannis leads. Runner at first is Sirota. 2-2. Fastball, swing and a miss. And down goes Nolan Shonowell. Second strikeout for Vaughn Mutter. And a chance to face the minimum, Sam, with a ground ball up the middle. Here's Cole McConnell. Defense and double play depth with Sirota at first. McConnell does have good speed. 10 stolen bases for him. He stole a base last time he was up in the first inning. Top 2, 1 out, runner at first. Hyannis, 5-0 lead over the Y-D Red Sox. First pitch home. Fastball on the outer edge. No balls and 1 strike. Something that Vaughn has done well, Sam, so far is getting ahead of Hyannis batters.
He's been much more around the plate than his teammate Trey Mazel was for sure.
0-1. Swinging a foul down the left field line. Looked like the splitter there from Mutter. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Connell, who is top 5 on Cape in RBIs, set the single-season RBI record at Louisiana Tech this spring. Was 13th in the nation in runs batted in. Left-handed batter with a bright orange glove. Levitates the bat over his left shoulder. Sirota running from first. The 0-2 is a changeup in the dirt, and Mike Sirota, with no contest, steals second base, his 3rd stolen base of the summer. Waldy Perez is somewhat of a mystery for the Y-D Red Sox. He's only played 1 season of collegiate baseball, and that was at El Camino Community College in Southern California, in which he only played 23 games and just had 26 at-bats. Already 3 stolen bases against him. We're in the top of the second with 1 out. 1-2. Splitter misses low and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, runner at second. 5-0 Hyannis. Looking for a big win, trying to remain atop that Western Division. They lead Bourne in first by a singular point. Motter comes set at the bell. 2-2. Fastball low. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole McConnell, who walked his last time up. Last time these 2 teams played, Hyannis had a 7-0 lead through 2. They are looking like they might do that again. 3-2 the count. Runner at second. 5-0 the Harbor Hawks lead. Sirota with a healthy lead. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Nasty slider, and Cole McConnell goes fishing. 3rd strikeout of the game is the 2nd out of the top of the second for Vaughn Mutter. Here's Pancho Ruiz. Ruiz picked up an RBI single back in the first. The first of 3 RBI singles in that frame. Leadoff single by Sirota. He stole second, but he's seen 2 of his teammates go down via the strikeout. Here's the righty Ruiz. The pitch. Splitter low. The count, 1 ball and no strikes. The leaves on the trees blowing back and forth in center. And Sam, you got to feel like with the way the first inning went, if there's a 0 on the board under the 2 in this second inning, Y-D has to feel like that's a win.
Absolutely, Carlo. You'll take what you can get, and any 0 early in this game to keep this deficit at 5 is huge.
1-0. Fastball. Pace the inside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Last time these teams faced off, we mentioned Hyannis jumped out to the 4-0 lead, but it was really the 3 runs in the second that kind of deflated the energy of Y-D.
They didn't really take their foot off the pedal until after the 3rd inning when it was 9-0.
1-1. Fastball misses below the zone. 2 balls and a strike with a runner at second and 2 outs. 5-0 Hyannis. Shadow starting to creep onto the field down the left field line where fans are looking for the shade. Down the right field line, though, there's a good amount of fans in their lawn chairs. Most of the Hyannis bullpen is in their dugout. There's only 3 guys out there in the bullpen. 2-1. Fastball downstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. Pancho Ruiz in a hitter's count with a runner in scoring position. That bullpen for Hyannis is all the way down the right field line in the corner. Ruiz swings the bat in front of him. Born in Tijuana, Mexico, with a sleeve on his right arm. He stares in towards the righty. Vaughn Motter looking for the final out of the top of the second, trying to keep this a 5-0 game. 3-1. Slider misses off the outside. Sirota's trying for third, and Y-D Perez tracks it down up the first base line. Ball popped out of his glove and does not throw to first. 2 away. On to third goes Sirota on the wild pitch. On to first goes Pancho Ruiz on the free pass. A walk puts him aboard for the second time today. And here's Drew Erhard, who had an RBI single his last time up in the first. Ruiz does not have a stolen base. He's at first. Takes a conservative lead. Arms dangle in front of him. First pitch to the righty, Erhard, is a splitter below the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. So the flag blows back and forth and left. And Sam, it's almost hard to imagine that this is the same Y-D team that won 6 in a row earlier this year. 1-0. There's a fastball low. 2 balls and no strikes. You think about in a 40-game season, how many highs and lows can you endure? But the Y-D Red Sox have been of the highest of the highs, the best team on Cape record-wise, and they're about to have, if this result holds, a lot of baseball left. 2-0. Swinging a big ground ball, chopped down the third base line, but foul off the left foot of Erhard. 2 balls and a strike. The worst losing streak on Cape.
It's the bookends have been the problem for the Red Sox as they got off to that winless stretch through the first 4 games of the season, and you started to question the ability of this team to compete this summer, but they turned it around in such a big way that they were almost unbeatable for about 2 weeks there in the middle of the season.
2-1 off the end of the bat and foul towards the vacant on-deck circle of the Y-D Red Sox, and Drew Erhard in the hole.
And obviously, you didn't expect to come out of the All-Star break without a win now through potentially 6 games, but with 2 regular season games after today, the Red Sox are stumbling to the finish in a big way.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2. Fastball high. And a full count here to Drew Erhard. At third leads Mike Sirota. At first is Pancho Ruiz. Sirota walked, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch. Ruiz walked aboard. Vaughn Mata trying to avoid back-to-back 2-out walks. 3-2 home. Look out. Misses well inside. Erhard has to bend backwards, and he takes first on the walk. And there is the back-to-back walks with 2 outs. So now the base is loaded for Tito Flores, and this feels like a tipping point in this game. Even though we're in the top of the second, Sam, Hyannis gets a big hit here from Flores, and the Y-D Red Sox might be already looking towards tomorrow when they play Chatham at 7.
Hey, you wonder if Vaughn Motter were starting to get maybe tired because in his 12 appearances for Cal, he never went more than an inning and 2/3.
Pitch home. Flores taps one foul down the third base line. Mutter is up to 37 pitches.
He's got that inning and a third so far.
Matt Cavanaugh is down in the bullpen. He's got a glove in his right arm, starting to do some stretching. 2 outs, bases loaded. 5-0 Hyannis, top of the second inning. Y-D Red Sox in a complete free fall. Lost 5 in a row and have stumbled out of the gate. 0-1. Slider misses above the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. But as you mentioned, Sam, feels like that safety blanket for Y-D. They have the playoff spot. They're the only team in the Eastern Division with a secured playoff spot before yesterday when Brewster picked up the second playoff spot. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Chases a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And for the second time in this inning, Von Mutter is a strike away from getting through the top of the second. Sirota at third. At second, Ruiz. At first, Earhart. With a white sleeve on his right arm, Tito Flores out of Michigan. A orange barrel and blue handle on his bat. He looks towards the ready. Mutter. 1-2. Slider misses low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Flores was hit by a pitch his first time up. He was the last batter Trey Meza saw, who started this game for Y-D. Seen the Red Sox make comebacks before here at home. Early in the season, they fell behind 4-0 to Bourne. Won that game 8-4. It's not impossible. 2-2. Splitter bounces in. Full count with the bases loaded. And after striking out back-to-back hitters, Von Mutter in danger of walking 3 in a row. Sirota 90 feet away. Ruiz behind him at second. Drew Earhart leads at first. Infield shifted over to the left. Antillian, the second baseman, playing up the middle. With his heels on the outfield grass, Woody Haydeen, the shortstop, stands in the gap. 2 outs, bases loaded. 3-2. Swinging a high fly ball into left. Hangs up there for the left fielder, Homer Bush Jr. He takes a couple of steps in and makes the catch. 1 hit, 3 left on, and no runs come across. The Y-D Red Sox have a little bit of life here at Red Wilson Field. They trail 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the second.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
We welcome you back to Red Wilson Field. Carlo Jimenez with you here on the Y-D Red Sox Radio Network. Cole Gehrig, Mike Bovey, Johnny Long due up in the bottom of the second for the Y-D team that trails by a score of 5-0 to the Hyannis Harborhawks. The visitors with 5 runs in the top of the first. And Jake Berry, a playoff starter for this Hyannis team, one of their best arms at 6'10" with a 1.3 ERA, looks to continue his work in the bottom of the second. First pitch to the righty. Gehrig swings, rolls one on the ground. On 3 hops, the third baseman, Earhart. He collects, throws across the diamond, and it's in the dirt. But pulled out nicely by the first baseman, Shonowell, for out number 1. Gehrig, who's dealing with a groin issue, not running awfully hard to first. And here's the left-handed bat of Mike Bovey with 1 pitch and 1 out for Jake Berry. Berry has thrown 11 pitches to record his 4 outs. 10 of them have been strikes. Mostly cloudy overhead. First pitch to the lefty. Fastball misses away. 1 ball and no strikes. The trees dancing out in straightaway center. Flag in left, moving pretty well. 1-0. Misses off the outer edge. And the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Bovee working a 6-game hitting streak, 2-0. And he takes a changeup in the dirt. 3 balls and no strikes. After Berry had thrown 1 ball to the first 4 batters, he's thrown 3 in a row here to Mike Bovee. 3-0 to the hill. Bovee takes a strike down Broadway. 3 balls and 1 strike. Berry takes off some miles per hour and finds some location. Mike with 2 hits yesterday against Falmouth. 3-1 to him. And he takes ball 4 low. Bovee works a walk, and Y-D with our first base runner with 1 out in the bottom of the second, trailing 5-0. Here's Johnny Long. Johnny Long back in the lineup for the first time in 4 days. Was dealing with some back tightness in his bright yellow cleats. The Long Beach State batter looks on towards the lefty Berry with Bovee at first, 5-0 Hyannis. Opening offering. Long swings and rips one down the left field line. Flores looking up. Johnny Long leads the yard. Welcome back. And Y-D with some life. A bullet to left. It's 5-2. Hyannis leads.
That was cranked by Johnny Long. Something tells me the back is feeling okay, Carlo. If he can turn on the first pitch there from Berry, get out ahead of one, and hit an absolute no-doubter. We'll get you the exit velocity number on that one ASAP because I think it was hit pretty hard.
Johnny Long in his first at-bat back. Belts one to left, 107 off the bat, 557 feet down the left field line. And Sam, maybe the tides have turned. Here's the ready gunner Antillian. Berry deals, Antillian swings and misses. But Jacob Berry has given up the most earned runs in a game he has surrendered all summer. The 0-1. Antillian rolls one softly on the ground to third, gobbled up by the third baseman Erhard. Long throw across the diamond in time. There's 2 away. Berry had only given up 1 run in a single outing 3 times. He had never given up more than 1. And Long, who's had loud batting practices, Sam, but hasn't been in the lineup, rips that one to left. He leads Y-D with his 5 home runs.
He told me he wanted to get to 5. He wanted to get the batting average up above 220. He'd been struggling to find the base hits all summer, but he wanted to get at least 5 homers.
Righty Dom Freeberg takes the first pitch, curveball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to him. 5-2. Hyannis leads. Bottom of the second inning on a light breeze Sunday afternoon. The 0-1. Fastball misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Thanks so much for joining us. Y-D Red Sox looking to get out of a funk. 1-1. Fastball misses up and away. Y-D has lost 5 in a row. Their longest losing streak this summer. 2-1. Freeberger looks at a changeup off the outer edge. 3 balls and a strike. And we mentioned it at the top of the inning, but Berry had only thrown 1 ball coming into the frame. He has walked Bovee, and now behind 3-1 to Freeberger. 3-1 to the plate. Freeberger takes ball 4, the second walk of this second inning. And here's Y-D Perez making his second at-bat of the summer. The starting catcher starting for the first time today. Shadows just starting to get over the bag at third. They move from left to right here at Red Wilson. And if Y-D Perez can get a handle of one, Sam, the Y-D Red Sox would be in business. Fell behind 5-0 in the top of the first, but the tying run is on deck. Antillian at first with decent, Freeberger at first with decent speed. First pitch out. Curveball. drops in the count. No balls and 1 strike to Y-D Perez.
You mentioned that Perez is a relative question mark for the Red Sox because he played so little this year that you don't really know what you have. But he's a big guy, 6'1", 220.
0-2. He watches another curveball nick the outer edge. No balls and 2 strikes.
Didn't hit a home run in those 23 games he played in the spring season. Only had 26 at-bats, though.
0-2. And he swings and fights off a fastball as he lifts it over the Hyannis dugout down the right field line. Johnny Long, a 2-run home run, scoring him and Mike Bovee. And the Y-D Red Sox pull within 3 of the Hyannis Harborhawks. It's 5-2 in the bottom of the second. Y-D Perez in his second at-bat trying to move down Freeberger over with 2 outs. Freeberger leads at first. 0-2. Look out. Perez has to leap out of the way. That ball in at his ankles. And he does a little dance in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Transferring to Cal State Fullerton from El Camino Community College. Staying in Southern California. 1-2. Perez swings and misses. Ball in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher Ruiz. Down the third base line. The throw to first. Not in time. 2 on with 2 out. And the tying run comes to the plate on the wild pitch. Swinging strike 3. It's Homer Bush Jr. with a chance to even this one up.
Well, I'm not going to call Y-D Perez a burner, but he was moving just quick enough to beat that throw out from the catcher Pancho Ruiz, and it was a close play. Nolan Shanuel, I think, caught that ball and started jogging towards the dugout because he thought he might have had him, but Perez got in there by a fairly wide margin.
Runner at second is Freeberger. At first, Perez. It's the right-handed bat of Homer Bush Jr., who popped up on the first pitch to the first baseman, Shanuel, to begin the game. Leadoff hitter looks on in the bottom of the second with 2 outs. The pitch. And he takes the first pitch. Fastball misses low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Didn't have much of a choice there. He's been swinging at the first pitch a lot, Carlo, but that one moved his feet back. And you would hope he would take something like that.
True. Homer in his last 2 games has popped out on the first pitch 5 times. Tying run at the plate. 5-2 Hyannis leads. The 1-0. Bush lifts one into right center field. Over towards the gap. Sirota chasing it. And one hops the wall. Rounding third. Coming home is Freeberger. Perez follows him. Homer Bush Jr. is on his way to third. The throw in from the right fielder. Sirota not in time. Homer Bush Jr. throws his hands in the air, hypes up his dugout. 2 runs come in on the 2 RBI triple, and the Y-D Red Sox are within a run. It's 5-4.
And the center fielder, Cole McConnell, I think had trouble digging that one out at the chain link fence in right center field, which Bush had kind of stopped around second base, as did Perez at third. But the issues that McConnell was having in center field allowed the Red Sox to get an extra 90 feet from both of those runners. A huge 4th run of this frame, and now a guy who had a pair of hits yesterday in Woody Hayden, who had a really impressive debut for Y-D, has a chance to drive home the tying run, which I don't think he really thought was possible the way the Red Sox have been struggling the past few days and getting down 5-0 after a half inning.
Coming into this outing, Jake Berry had given up 3 earned runs. He's given up 4 in this bottom of the second. And the tying run is at third in Homer Bush Jr., who just picked up his 2nd extra base hit of the summer. And in stands Woody Hayden, the newest Y-D Red Sox, who played in his first game yesterday, as Sam mentioned, with an opportunity to tie the game. First pitch, and he swings and taps one foul on the first base line. And he represents the go-ahead run against Jake Berry.
Not a ton of power, but he did hit a home run in that Appy League All-Star game en route to being the MVP there for Bush. Both extra base hits in the last 3 games.
0-1 is a fastball away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5-4 Hyannis leads the Y-D Red Sox thanks to a 2-run home run from Johnny Long and a 2 RBI triple from Homer Bush Jr. are within an arm's reach. The 1-1. Hayden smacks one foul on the first base line. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Woody had a double yesterday, a couple of walks. He reached base in 4 of the 5 trips he took to the plate. Played a fine shortstop, too, a guy who adds to this Y-D Red Sox roster.
1-2. Hayden golfs one into center field. Shallow center. McConnell coming in, going back to second baseman Moore. He makes the catch in shallow center, but not before 4 runs come across on 2 hits. 1 left on. The Y-D Red Sox have life through 2. It's 5-4 Hyannis at Red Wilson Field.
Well, hello there from Captain Parker's Pub over in West Yarmouth on Route 28. The entire crew from Captain Parker's wants to give a big salute to Cape Cod baseball, especially the young players that have dedicated so much time and effort to America's pastime. So join us for lunch or dinner or just a bowl of our world-famous clam chowder. Captain Parker's. Easy to find, but awfully hard to leave.
A turn of events here at Red Wilson Field. The Y-D Red Sox gave up 5 runs in the top of the first. They take 4 back in the bottom of the second as we begin the third. Carlo Jimenez alongside Sam Lebowitz, the final matchup of the summer between 2 teams who currently sit atop their division, Sam, and all of a sudden a new ball game here in South Yarmouth.
And this is a huge half inning here for Vaughn Moderer, who put up a 0 stranding the bases loaded in the second. Red Sox getting those 4 runs in the bottom half. If he can put up another 0 here, the momentum firmly in the Red Sox favor.
Faces 8-9-1. The righty Christian Moore swings and misses at a first pitch slider. In the count, no balls and 1 strike. Just 2 hits in that bottom of the second. A 2-run home run by Johnny Long that went 357 feet down the left field line, and a 2 RBI double by Homer Bush Jr. A 1 slider misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Defense swung over to the left on the infield for Christian Moore, who had a 2 RBI single his last time up. The second baseman Antillian playing to the left of second. Motters 1-1. Fastball catches the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 5-4. Hyannis leads Y-D. It looked like the Red Sox were on their way to another loss. They've lost 5 in a row, trying to end that streak here today. 1-2. Slider that Moore fights off and chops down the right field line. Foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The fans in their lawn chairs on the berm and left. That's the most popular place to be. People are packed in over there underneath the shade. Down the right field line. Fans in their lawn chairs in the sun, braving the heat. It's not too warm here today, about 80 degrees with a light breeze. 1-2 is a splitter off the outer edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Christian Moore, the sophomore out of Tennessee. Moore with orange laces and orange cleats, representing the Volunteers, and the colorway matches nicely with his Hyannis uniform. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Chases a slider off the outer edge. And there's 1 away.
Vaughn Moderer with a longer outing today in relief than he had in any of his outings for the Cal Bears this year, but he's done a good job to kind of quiet the fort down for the Red Sox and ensure that they have a chance in this game.
1 out, base is empty. Here's Caleb Spur, the 9-hole hitter. First pitch to the ready. And he looks at a splitter low. 1 ball and no strikes. 5 runs in the first for Hyannis, 4 runs in the second for Y-D. The Red Sox with a win today and a Brewster tie or loss would clinch first place in the East. 1-0. Splitter drops on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Caleb Spur from Endicott is just the third ever Endicott player to play on Cape Cod in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 1-1, and he waves at the slider. That has been money for Mutter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hyannis is also trying to get out of a funk of their own. They've won 1 of their last 5 and sit just 1 point ahead of Bourne for first place. 1-2. Half swing on a splitter. Did he go? Yes, says first base umpire Joseph Caraco. How about strikeout number 5 for Vaughn Mutter and back-to-back swinging strikes to begin the 4th.
Just working off adrenaline. Why not? Now things are a little more tight for a guy who's used to higher leverage relief, and I think he's taking that to heart. He looks outstanding right now. The slider is really working, especially to those right-handed hitters, and has a good one to contend with here in the left-hand hitter, Mitch Jebb. But in his second outing of the summer, Vaughn Mutter looks very impressive.
Opening offering to the lefty. Fastball well above the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Jebb started off that 5-run first inning with a single and a stolen base. Hyannis with a 5-4 lead. Top of the 3rd inning. Mutter comes set at the belt. Glove pinned against his belly button. 1-0. Fastball away. 2 balls and no strikes to the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, Mitch Jebb, hitting above 500 over his last 4 games with 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. He's top 5 on Cape in nearly every offensive category you can think of, except strikeouts. 2-0. Splitter drops in at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike.
These Harbor Hawks don't hit many home runs. No one in their lineup has more than 3 this summer, but they will just punch you to death with singles and walks and stolen bases. They put up runs in a big way because they chain hits together better than almost anyone on Cape Cod.
2-1 down the hill. Jebb shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a splitter in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike to the leadoff hitter. You mentioned that low home run total, Sam. That last one from Johnny Long moves Y-D into second to last on Cape with 18 home runs. Hyannis has 19 home runs. They're in third to last. So even though a short porch to center here at Red Wilson Field, not a lot of pop in the lineups. 3-1. Mutter throws a splitter in the dirt and walks Mitch Jebb with 2 outs. And here's Mike Sirota, who was singled and walked today. Matt Kavanaugh is up and at him in the Y-D Red Sox bullpen. As Sam mentioned, Mutter hasn't gone very long this game. It looks like Kavanaugh has actually sit down, and Sam Borderson is up and warming. Jebb at first. He's already stolen 1 base today. He's stolen a base in 8 straight games. Mutter looks towards Sirota and throws to first. Jebb back on his feet. One of the more intriguing stories on Cape Cod is Mike Sirota. Started the summer with Brewster. In 11 games, hit .250 and came to Hyannis and was a new man. Opening offering. Splitter misses off the outer edge. 1 ball and no strikes. Sirota in those Hyannis pinstripes is hitting .358. 2 home runs, 14 RBIs in 15 games. His blonde hair peeks out of the back of his black helmet. Jebb at first with 2 outs. 1-0. Fastball. Works the outside edge. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Defense straight up. With Jebb at first and 2 outs. 5-4. Hyannis leads Y-D. On the penultimate home game of the summer for the Y-D Red Sox. They go to Chatham tomorrow and then back at home against Brewster for the finale. 1-1. Fastball misses away. Snap back throw to first. Jebb back on a head first slide as he dirties up the front of his blue uni. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vaughn Mutter has done cleanup duty, and he's done a good job of it. Came in with the bases loaded in the first. He's given up 2 hits and walked 2 since. 1-2 down the hill. Half swing. Did he go? No, says first base umpire Joseph Caraco on a splitter that dropped in. Sirota started, fell to a knee, Sam, but did not go a according to the first base umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at first.
Maurer tied him up in knots on that splitter, running inside on him, and could have had him. Almost did. Sirota, a good job to hold it up just enough to get that call in his favor.
2-2. Swinging a 2-chopper left side. Bovee picks it out on the short hop. The third baseman's throw across the diamond in time. Mike Bovee showing off his right arm, and there's one left on. No runs come across. That does it for the top of the third, as Bovee is able to gun down Sirota. We head to the bottom of the third. The Red Sox will bring the tying run to the plate, trailing 5-4. Hayden Schott, Cole Carrick, Mike Bovee all due up when we return.
MP Sports Cards is proud to sponsor the Kids Baseball Clinics. If you're a sports card collector, be sure to stop by and check out the latest releases, graded cards, supplies, and more. A local favorite for hobby enthusiasts across Massachusetts and, of course, your Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop in our store and mention code Red Sox to get 1 free pack of 2022 Topps Baseball Update with any purchase. Some exclusions apply. Visit us at 71 Main Street in Carver, Mass. or online at mpsportscards.com. That's mpsportscards.com.
We welcome you back to Y-D Red Sox baseball here in the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. I'm Carlo Jimenez alongside my good friend Sam Lebowitz. 3-4-5 due up for the Y-D Red Sox, who, Sam, have climbed a 5-0 lead and made it 5-4 thanks to a 4-run bottom of the second. We begin the bottom of the third. Jacob Berry, the 6'10 lefty, looks on towards Schott. First pitch, left-handed bat of Schott, swings and misses at a slider. No balls and 1 strike.
The Red Sox proved that Jake Berry was human after all in that last half inning with a couple extra base hits and 4 runs.
0-1. Slider misses off the outer edge. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now you can't let him get back into a groove. You have him right where you need him to be after a 5-run first for Hyannis. You've cut it to a 1-run deficit. Now you can punch back.
1-1. Schott takes one on the helmet. Breaking ball did not break. Caught him up on the head. Hayden, with a smile on his face, jogs down to first. And looks like he's all right. Was not a fastball, thank goodness, from Jake Berry. The tying run is now at first. The go-ahead comes to the plate. It's the right-handed bat of Cole Carrick.
And that one just kind of tracked Hayden Schott as he kind of crouched to avoid it. It followed him down on the breaking ball and just kind of nudged off that navy blue helmet atop his head. And Hayden, the smiley guy, makes sure to let everyone know with a big smile that he's okay.
Carrick looks on as the go-ahead run. First pitch, and he takes a fastball in the dirt. 5-4 Hyannis leads, bottom 3. Wind gusting out to left as the trees sway back and forth in center. Shadows starting to creep on the infield down the third base line. And Hayden Schott, who has not stolen a base this summer, gloveless, takes a 3-step lead at first. Carrick grounded out to third his last time up, 1-0. And he swings and misses, nearly has his helmet come off as he chases a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. Cole starting for the first time since July 26, nearly a week, when he had a 3-hit day against Wareham, has been dealing with a groin issue. The blonde hair flows out of the back of his helmet. 1-1 down the hill. Carrick looks at a fastball away. 2 balls and a strike. Sam, we talked about in the open, the Y-D Red Sox need to get the offense going early. It didn't start out right, but they have 4 on the board. And a team trying to end a 5-game losing streak. See if they can keep the momentum going against Berry. Throw back to first, back on his feet is Schott. And for Jacob Berry, he had allowed 3 earned runs all summer coming into today, Sam. This is a for sure playoff starter for Hyannis. Y-D able to get 4 across. How important is it that Carrick keeps the line moving here?
It's vital because you want to try to get this game even here.
2-1. Carrick bounces one up the middle on 2 hops. The second baseman Moore throws to second for 1. Turned to first, not in time. Carrick beats it out. Jeb sliding over. It looked like Christian was going to take it himself, but instead flipped to his shortstop. Carrick reaches on the fielder's choice. Here's Mike Bovey, who walked and scored his last time up with 1 on and 1 out. Tying run still at first. 5-4. Hyannis leads.
You want to get this game even and start fresh if you're the Y-D Red Sox as best you can, as soon as you can, because it was once 5-0. It was so demoralizing, but after that big second inning, it feels like this is a winnable game now. And the Red Sox have scored already against Barry, and it becomes important to score again.
Bovey open stance, left-handed batter. First pitch to him. And Mike swings and drives one into right field. It hangs up there for the right fielder, Sirota. He makes the catch just off the end of the bat. Bovey almost had a barrel, but instead is sat down on 1 pitch. And here's the guy who did have a barrel his last time up, Johnny Long, a 357-foot home run to left. His last time up, digs in, represents the go-ahead run in a 5-4 game, and Sam Long's hit was the spark plug for this offense.
And he didn't miss it. That was as loud a home run as a Red Sox player has hit all summer.
Carrick at first with decent speed, but dealing with that groin injury. First pitch to the righty Long is a changeup in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. 5-4 Hyannis leads. The top team in the Eastern Division. The Y-D Red Sox taking on the top team in the Western Division, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 2 outs, bottom 3. The 1-0. Long takes a fastball high, throw back to first. Carrick back on a head first slide. The front of his white Red Sox uniform gets a paint of brown dirt. They count 2 balls and no strikes to Johnny Long. Leads the team now with 5 home runs, and he's starting to creep up in that top 5 on Cape. 1 more, he would be in the top 5. 2-0. Long takes a changeup on the outer edge. 2 balls and 1 strike. The last cross-division matchup of the summer for the Y-D Red Sox. Barry twirls the ball behind his back. Glove pinned against his right shoulder. The 6'10 lefty looks at first, looks in. 2-1 to the plate. Johnny backs up as that ball is in the dirt. Fastball misses low and in. 3 balls and a strike to Johnny Long. And got to imagine Barry feels like he has to be careful here. Long a hitter's count, representing the go-ahead run with Carrick at first as the tying run. As there's some action now in the Hyannis bullpen. 3-1 to Long. And he rolls one on the ground to first, to third, to shortstop. The shortstop, Jeb, vacuums it up, goes the short way to second, and that does it. 1 reaches, no runs come across, and Y-D remains down a singleton. Sam Lebowitz will have the middle innings for you here at Red Wilson Field. It's 5-4. Hyannis leads Y-D. Hey, Sox fans, have you thought about buying or selling a home? Emily Szymanski of the Southie Dog Group is your pet-friendly neighborhood realtor. As part of the team at Keller Williams Realty of Cape Cod and the Islands, Emily is your go-to resource for home buying and selling. Call Emily Szymanski at 508-221-0196 or visit the SouthieDogGroup.kw.com. That's the SouthieDogGroup.kw.com. We begin the top of the 4th inning, and Sam Lebowitz steps up to the mic as he takes us through the middle of this one. Sam, take it away.
Thanks so much, Carlo. We enter the fourth here at Red Wilson Field. The Red Sox now trailing by just a skinny run. A 5-run Hyannis first inning set the tone in this one, but a couple of 2-run extra base hits in the bottom of the second got the Red Sox closer. That's where we stand as we go to the fourth, and the new right arm on the bump for Y-D is the Wingate closer, Sam Borderson, who will make his second appearance out of this Red Sox bullpen. The first one didn't go very well, but Borderson was put into a tough situation. That was that Orleans loss just a few days ago on the 27th of July when Orleans scored 6 ninth-inning runs to extend a 3-1 lead to a 9-1 lead. Borderson was pitching in the middle of that, inherited the bases loaded, gave up a hit and a walk, and struck out a batter. Those were the only 3 batters he faced. He gets 3, 4, and 5 in this Hyannis Harbor Hawk lineup. Nolan Shawnuel to lead off against him. And the first pitch home, Shawnuel takes a fastball that misses high from Borderson. Borderson this year for Wingate was very effective out of the bullpen. A 2.83 ERA. He saved 8 games. Struck out more than 14 batters per 9. Infield shifts to the pull side on Shawnuel, who rips the 1-0 into right field, and it's going to skip on by Dom Freeberger and go all the way to the wall. Heading to second is Shawnuel. He's in standing as Dominic Freeberger's throw is just late. And Shawnuel throws his hands in the air in celebration. He came into this game on a big old slump. 2 for 27, was 0 for 2 to start this one, but it's going to be a double all the way for him as it skipped cleanly past Freeberger. His 4th double of the season, and an important runner out there in scoring position with nobody out.
One thing we talked about is the tack-on runs have been killer for the Y-D Red Sox. We're not that late in this game, but Y-D's got to keep this a 1-run game.
Borderson steps off, takes a look at Shawnuel. Here's another left-hand hitter, Cole McConnell. A walk, a strikeout today for the Hyannis cleanup hitter. Again, the infield pull to the pull side. The first pitch is high again, a fastball. Borderson will walk some guys. He had about 4 walks per 9 this summer, or rather this spring for Wingate. There's 21 walks across 47 and 2/3 innings. Runner on second, no outs, 1-0. Fastball misses off the plate away, and the count is quickly 2-0 on Cole McConnell. Pancho Ruiz to follow, and then Drew Earhard, 2 right-hand hitters. After a pair of lefties to start this frame. Connell, an all-star for Hyannis. He started in the outfield last weekend in Wareham. 2 balls, no strikes. Is lifted foul along the left field line, heading back towards the berm past the Red Sox dugout, which is filled with lots of fans in their lawn chairs. A nice crowd here on this early Sunday evening, hoping to see the Red Sox break a 5-game losing streak and avoid a 6-game losing streak for the first time in the point streak era. That's since 2009. Hyannis has also been scuffling of late. They've won 1 of their last 5. 2-1. Fastball misses high, and the count runs to 3-1 on Cole McConnell. Both of these 2 teams still leading their division races, but the leads have shrunk lately. Hyannis leads over Bourne by just a skinny point, and the Red Sox have seen their division lead shrink to 4 points. It was once at 11 points. 3 balls and a strike, runner on second, nobody out. Here it comes, and it misses well high, a fastball. Borderson not very close on many of those offerings. He walks McConnell the second time he's reached on a free pass in this game. And now Pancho Ruiz with 2 on and nobody out against the Wingate right-hander.
Well, pretty much a similar start to that 5-run first Hyannis had, in which they had the hit and then the walk. Borderson's got to figure it out atop the mound, Sam. You can't repeat another 5-run inning.
Here's Ruiz, a single and a walk. He's driven in a run. First pitch, right-hand hitter, takes a fastball that misses again upstairs above the letters. Middle infield is playing back, hoping for a double play ball. Mike Bovey even with the bag at third in case of a bunt attempt. Johnny Long playing behind McConnell at first. Outfield swung around to the pull side just a tad against the right-hand hitting Ruiz. Hands held high in the 1-0. Fastball away. And Borderson really struggling with this fastball command in this outing. And John Raiola, the pitching coach for Y-D, is going to go out and chat with his right-hander.
It's a very dangerous Hyannis team with runners in scoring position. Average up to 262. One of the best on Cape Cod with runners in scoring position. And the Harbor Hawk offense, Sam, that was stalled for the first time yesterday. First time they've been held scoreless in a game all summer. Game number 41. And you know they're looking to rebound here.
They've put 5 on the board in the first inning. As good a start as you could hope coming off of your first shutout loss of a season. Von Moderer was able to work 2 scoreless frames to keep the Red Sox a little tighter in this one, but Sam Borderson, in relief of him now, has worked himself into a mess. Runners on first and second, a double and a walk to start this frame. Still nobody out. A 2-0 count to Pancho Ruiz. And they're going to pick off the first, and he almost threw it away. Johnny Long had to leap to keep it in the leather. Red Sox trying maybe a trick pickoff play, something they've worked on before. It has worked for them this week, picking off a runner from first base as the back runner in a situation like this, and it almost made things worse for Sam Borderson. He almost threw it away. 2 balls, no strikes, no outs, 2 on. The pitch misses high again, a fastball. And after the mound meeting, Borderson still not yet getting that release point on the fastball. He's missed above the letters on pretty much every single offering. And immediate work behind him in the bullpen, Sean Gamlin has started to throw. 3 balls and no strikes. Down the middle, a fastball. Crowd puts their hands together in a slight round of applause for the right-hander. Borderson pins that black leather glove to his upper chest, gets his sign, sets above the belt, looks back at second, the 3-1. In the dirt for ball 4, he missed low with an off-speed pitch. And the bases are loaded with nobody out for Sam Borderson. And here's Drew Earhart. Sean will lead off the inning with a double down into the right field corner. The next 2 have walked. And in a 5-4 game, Hyannis leading, a chance to build this lead back up. They led 5-0. The Red Sox have climbed back into it. But here in the 4th inning, a chance to make the Red Sox task ahead of them a little more difficult. Right-hand hitter Earhart, first pitch, a fastball, and he misses high. And Sean Gamlin already up on that mound in the bullpen, starting to throw with a little more intent. In his first 2 seasons for Wingate, Borderson had an ERA below 3 in those 2 seasons. Emerged as a potential relief ace for them. 1-0, fastball on the outside corner. There's a called strike. The count 1-1. In his freshman season, Wingate won the Division II championship, the College World Series for D2 teams. And he threw the final pitch. He got the final out in that championship series as a freshman. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here it comes. It misses low, a little below the zone there. Another fastball. And the count 2-1.
Red Sox playing back up the middle. You wonder if they let a run come home on a ground ball in the hopes of turning 2.
Borderson could use a strikeout. Maybe a pop out as well. 2 balls and a strike with the bases loaded, nobody out. The pitch is popped up, lifted foul along the right field line, and the count 2-2 on Drew Earhart.
Well, in right field is Dom Freeberger, and Brady Montgomery, who was a late scratch. You don't have that cannon of an arm in right. You do have it in center with Cole Carrig.
Freeberger does have a strong arm, just very few have arms as strong as Montgomery. The base is full, nobody out. A 2-2 home from Borderson. Fouled straight back off the chain link fence behind home plate. And we'll do it again with Sean Gamlin working out in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Another guy who has had struggles with command as of late. But Borderson, right now, it's his mess. A double, a pair of walks, nobody out. The base is loaded. Red Sox trailing by a run in this top of the fourth. The 2-2. Bounce to third. Bovee will touch third, get one, come home. Perez can't get the tag on Nolan Shawnuel. The run scores. It's a force out of the runner at third. The first out of this inning. The run does come home, and it's 6-4 Hyannis. And Tito Flores will hit with runners at first and second and one out. Bovee got the force out and then threw on the run home, but it pulled Perez a little away from home plate, and he couldn't tag Shawnuel.
Yeah, tough decision there for Bovee of so many options, almost too many options. And you wonder if maybe he goes to first there instead, Sam, if Earhart, ball was hit pretty hard, is able to tire him and get two.
Another right-hand hitter. Here's Tito Flores. First pitch is a slider in for a called strike. Flores today, a hit by pitch. He's also flown out to left. Out of Michigan, the Wolverine with his two-toned bat. Bright blue handle and a bright orange fluorescent barrel. 2 on, 1 out, a run home. Here in the fourth. 0-1. Slider low. Perez got it in the glove before it touched the dirt. Now Borderson would take a double play ball to get him through this with minimal damage. Hyannis leads 6-4. Top half here in the fourth with 2 on and 1 out. A 1-1 count to Flores. Borderson deals. Upstairs, a fastball bends back the head of Tito Flores.
You don't have great speed on the base paths. Ruiz and Druhard, neither of them have stolen a base. So you think if there's a ground ball for that double play, should be fairly easy to turn for Y-D.
Easier said than done for a guy who's been struggling with the command. That double play ball might be tougher to get than you'd hope. 2-1. This is down and away, and it goes back to the backstop. Perez will play it off a high hop off the fence, but the runners advance to second and third. A wild pitch from Sam Borderson, and the count runs to 3-1 on Tito Flores.
And it really has been a roller coaster ride. Meza struggled to retire anybody. Mutter seemed to quiet things down, and now the infield comes in as Borderson tries to find some sort of command.
Infield is in all the way around. 3 balls and a strike with 2 in scoring position, 1 out. The 3-1. Slider line, pass short and into left field for a base hit. 1 runs home. Earhart turns third. He gets the stop sign from his third base coach and holds there. An RBI single for Tito Flores. The lead back up to 7-4 for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They'll have runners at the corners with only 1 away. 2 runs home here in this 4th inning. That double play, that wild pitch, excuse me. The wild pitch looming large in this 4th inning there.
Hey, you almost wonder if Hayden's playing back. He has a chance to snag that baseball. It was just over his head, playing in on the infield grass.
Here's another right-hand hitter, Christian Moore. 2 RBI single and a strikeout in his 2 trips. Runners on the corners, 1 away, 2 runs home. Hyannis leads 7-4 here in the top of the 4th at Red Wilson Field. The set, the pitch. Slider in the dirt, swung on and missed by Christian Moore. Count 0-1 on the Hyannis second baseman. Moore has now driven in 5 of his 8 runs against the Y-D Red Sox. That 2-run single, a big hit. He was the first one to face Vaughn Moderer, the 0-1, a slider in the dirt. He took this one, and the count 1-1. Earhart, the runner from third. He reached on a fielder's choice. Flores, the runner on first. He singled home a run. 2 runs are home in this half inning. And the Wingate right-hander Sam Borderson working with a 1-1 count, 1 out. The pitch home to Moore. Swing and a miss, a fastball. And the count is 1-2. Hyannis trying to blow this one open in the middle frames. They scored 5 in the top half of this first inning against Trey Meza. Red Sox got 4 in the second to cut it to 5-4. But a couple of tack-on runs here in the fourth. And maybe more to come. 1-2. Lifted foul. Another fastball, and Borderson will have to continue working here to Moore. Hope for a double play ball. The middle infield is back. Antillian and Hayden, the cornerstone, up the center of the diamond for the Red Sox. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Moore. With his maroon bat, he watches in. The pitch. Slider misses up and in. Count runs to 2-2. A hard-working frame for Sam Borderson in his second outing of the summer. And 3 guys for the Red Sox, all making their second appearances of the summer, in Meza, Moderer, and Borderson. Hasn't gone particularly easy. 2-2. Slider misses down and away. The count runs full on Moore. With runners on the corners, only 1 away in a hard-working 4th inning. Right on right. Moore out of Tennessee. Peers in, the volunteer against the Wingate Bulldog. The 3-2. Check swing on a pitch up. He went around, strike 3. Borderson strikes out Christian Moore. Second time Moore has been set aside. A check swing on a slider up and in. And the first base umpire, Joseph Caraco, said he went around. Brings up Caleb Spur, the DH. He has twice struck out today. Both were against Vaughn Moderer. Another right-hand hitter. First pitch. Slider in for a called strike on the outside corner. With runners on the corners, 2 out. Top of the 4th. 2 runs home already. Spur a chance to drive home another. At least. Hyannis leads 7-4. A lot of offense early in this game. 0-1. Fastball misses away. The count goes to 1-1. Broderson struggled at the end of the season in the spring and gave up 6 earned runs over the final 9 innings he pitched. Raised an ERA, the 2-0. The 1-1 misses down and inside a fastball. Raised his ERA from 2.08 to 2.83. Not a huge difference, but indicative of those late season struggles. 2 balls and a strike on Caleb Spur with runners on the corners and 2 out. 2 runs home. Here it comes. Lifted in the air, out to center field, hit fairly well. Carrick going back. He reaches up, makes the catch in front of the fence, and puts away the 3rd out of this frame. A hard-working inning for Sam Broderson, who gives up a pair, strands 2 more. And after the top of the 4th, the Red Sox back down 3. They trail 7-4 to the Hyannis ArborHawks. Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops and first responders who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of the program, the Y-D Red Sox and all Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration is brought to you by Zephyr Hats, the Massachusetts State Lottery, and OT Sports. Support our troops and first responders and join us by wearing red each Friday. Red Sox have some work to do as we go to the bottom of this fourth inning here at Red Wilson Field. Hyannis leads 7-4. The big, tall right left-hander Jake Berry back to the mound to face Gunnar Antillian. The first pitch swung on and fouled back over home plate. The count 0-1 on the New Mexico State second baseman. Antillian today a ground ball to third base in his first trip. Quite the height disparity here, a 1. Curveball in the dirt and the count 1-1 on Antillian. Gunnar listed at 5'8". Jake Berry at 6'10". More than a height of difference between these two facing off. The 1-1. It's a changeup in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-1 on Antillian.
It's been all breaking balls through the first 3 pitches to the righty Antillian. We'll see if Berry tries to speed him up at all.
Gunnar's ahead, trying to get on base and get a rally going for a Red Sox team who trailing 3 runs. The 2-1 is swung on and foul, tipped into the glove of Ruiz. That time a fastball, and the count is even up on Gunnar. Gunnar, a .222 hitter through his first 18 at-bats as a Red Sox. The 2-2 to him. Up and away a fastball, and the count runs full. Dominic Freeberger and Y-D Perez, the bottom third of this Red Sox order to follow in the fourth. Full count pitch is lined the other way. That's a base hit. One hop in front of the right fielder, Mike Sirota. And Gunnar Antillian breaks a mini 7 at-bat slide. He's on at first base with nobody out and brings up Tom Freeberger.
Antillian and Freeberger have very similar approaches to the plate, Sam. Neither guy is trying to hit the cover off the baseball. They're just trying to get on base. And you can see if they could set the table for the top of this lineup for Y-D.
Freeberger took a walk and scored in his first at-bat. Runner on first, no outs. And the runner's going, and he's picked off of first. The throw by Shawnuel to second is in plenty of time. Antillian was moving on first movement from the left-hander Berry, and he was picked off on the throw to first. Mark it 1 to 6 to 1 to 3 to 6 in your scorecard, excuse me. Caught stealing of Antillian erases the leadoff single before the first pitch to Freeberger. Here it comes. And it's swung, pulled on the ground to third. And it's knocked down and knocked away by the third baseman, Drew Earhart. He couldn't handle it. And reaching it first is Dom Freeberger. Be an error all the way on Earhart, third baseman. Brings up Y-D Perez with 1 out. First 2 have reached successfully in this home half of the fourth, but that pickoff of Antillian looming fairly large.
Yeah, you know if Antillian's at second right now, Perez is putting down a bunt and trying to move him over for the top of the lineup instead. We'll see if Y-D can reach.
Another right-hand hitter, Perez. First pitch to him, a fastball for a called strike. Y-D's looking for his first hit as a Red Sox. That was at 88 miles an hour, that first pitch fastball.
It's not very hard stuff from Berry. He hasn't touched 90 this inning.
0-1. Taken low, and the count 1-1 on Perez. Y-D has batted just twice since he got here, including his second inning at bat in which he struck out and reached on a drop third strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Taken in the dirt. Nice block by Ruiz on the changeup, and the count 2-1 on Perez with action up in the bullpen behind Berry. Freeberger at first, 1 away. Red Sox trailing by 3. Perez spent the spring at El Camino Community College. The 2-1 is taken in the dirt again, a changeup. The count quickly 3-1 on him. Perez is heading to Cal State Fullerton. Talked to Caden Connor, and he says before Y-D got here, These two haven't met, but they'll be teammates next year. The 3-1. Taken just outside for ball 4. Barry puts his hands on his knees in disagreement with the call, but Homer Bush, the top of the Red Sox lineup, will hit with 2 on and only 1 out, and we may have a change. As up out of the dugout is Eric Beatty. He makes the move to the bullpen. A right-hander is going to come on in for these Hyannis Harbor Hawks. The Red Sox making Jake Berry work. His worst outing of the summer season so far as he struts off the mound. Gave up more than 1 run for the first time in any singular outing. We'll introduce you to a new right-handed arm when we come back after a quick break. The Red Sox with 1 out will have 2 on at the top of their order. Due up, down 3. The new arm on the mound for Hyannis is the northeastern right-hander Jordy Allard. So we go from a 5'10 lefty to, or a 6'10 lefty to a 5'9 righty. Allard has been excellent for Hyannis across 11 relief outings. He's got a .61 ERA, kind of their answer to the Josh Stewart, who we saw for Falmouth last night. He's allowed just 1 earned run all summer. That came back on July the 10th. So it's been about 3 weeks since anyone's really touched him. He's got a pair of saves, 14 and 2/3 innings. He struck out 18. He inherits runners at first and second with 1 out. Hyannis leads 7-4. Here's Homer Bush, right on right. The first pitch is taken low, the splitter from Jordy Allard. Fastball, splitter, and a breaking ball for the right-hander out of Woodstock, Vermont. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. On a splitter running in on Homer Bush. The count evens on him, 1-1. Allard this year for Northeastern was an all-New England first-team honoree after he spent 3 seasons with Babson. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Again, that splitter that just drops out from underneath of Homer Bush's bat. Freeberger at second. He reached on an error. Waldy Perez walked. He's at first. The right-hander sets and deals a 1-2, and it's fouled off right side. Bush fought off a fastball.
Homer looked like he thought he might have had that pitch too, bouncing up and down. Guy who's already got a big hit today, Sam. Red Sox are going to need a whole lot of offense. See if Homer can move some runners over.
He split the right center gap for a 2-run double his last time. The 1-2. Taken a little low. Allard cocks his head to the right, maybe in disagreement of the call from Ronaldo Cockrum. The count even on Bush, 2-2. Homer, an all-star for the Y-D Red Sox. Those 2 RBIs in his last at-bat were his 7th and 8th. He's without a homer. A homer would tie it for Homer. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Good splitter. Again, in on the hands of Bush. He swung through it. It's the second out with Freeberger and Perez still anchored at second and first. And it brings up the switch hitter batting left for the first time today, Woody Hayden. Woody took a called third strike and popped out to second in his 2 trips as a right-hand batter against Jake Berry, who went the first 3 1/3. But now the Hyannis bullpen is working here. First pitch is fouled off back to the screen. Another split looked like from Allard. Hayden, the Appalachian League All-Star Game MVP just 4 days ago. The 0-1. Taking on the outside corner, a called strike. The count quickly 0-2 on the UC Irvine Anteater. 2 on, 2 out. Red Sox trail by 3. 0-2. Upstairs, a fastball. And the count 1-2. Now is really just a show-me fastball to keep Hayden off the split. This would be a big spot if the Red Sox can come up with something, trailing 7-4. The 1-2 is in the dirt. A good block by Ruiz and a good take by Hayden on another split. Freeberger, an average runner, out at second. Perez at first. The catcher does not run exceptionally well. Would take a pretty deep extra base hit to get them both home. With 2 out, 2-2 count, and 2 runners aboard. Hayden peers in. Here it comes, and it's in the air. Right center field, hit fairly well. Cole McConnell moving to his left. He makes the catch shoulder high and ends the inning. Red Sox get 3 runners aboard. The first 3 reach, but a pickoff aids the Harbor Hawks on defense, and they move through this bottom of the 4th without allowing a run. At the end of 4 here at Red Wilson Field, the Red Sox trailing the Harbor Hawks. It's 7-4.
Giardino's Family Restaurant has been locally owned and operated since 1970. Originally opened by Ed Giardino Sr. as the Tasty Tower, today his sons are still committed to providing the same quality meals and service that their customers have come to know and love. So if you're looking for a great night out, come on in to Giardino's Family Restaurant in West Yarmouth on Cape Cod. Giardino's, a restaurant for family, by family.
Top of the 5th here at Red Wilson Field. The Harbor Hawks will have the top of their order due up against Sam Broderson, who works in a 7-4 Hyannis lead in his second inning of relief. He gave up a pair in the fourth, and he'll work through this fifth frame to Mitch Jebb, Mike Sirota, and Nolan Shawnuel. Jebb, a left-hand hitter against the right-hander out of Wingate. He deals a first pitch changeup in the dirt for ball one. It's taken us about 2 hours to get just to this point. Exactly 2 hours as the clock strikes 6:30 here in South Yarmouth. We started at 4:30. And Jebb was right in the middle of a big first inning for these Harbor Hawks. The 1-0 is a little low again. The count 2 balls and no strikes from Broderson. Jebb led off the game with an infield single. He stole a base. He scored on an error. One of 5 Harbor Hawk runs to come across in that opening frame. Jebb actually batted twice as the leadoff hitter in that frame. The 2-0 to him, a fastball that misses a little away, and Broderson, who walked 2 in the fourth, is behind 3-0 to the leadoff hitter here in the fifth. And Jebb, who stole his 23rd bag of the year already today, would be a threat to cause some havoc if he reaches on a free pass. The 3-0. Upstairs, ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk to Mitch Jebb. So nothing coming easy for the Red Sox today. They trailed 5-0. They now trail 7-4. They got 4 runs back in the second inning. A pair of extra base hits. Johnny Long, a 2-run homer. Homer Bush, a 2-run double. It was 5-4, but Broderson making things a little more difficult for his teammates with the 2 spot that Hyannis pushed across in the fourth. Here's Mike Sirota. Right-hand hitter. A walk, a single, a ground out. The first pitch misses inside, and the first 5 in this frame have been outside the zone for the Wingate right-hander.
No one up in that Y-D bullpen right now. Coach G getting down there to see who he gets up and at him. Saw Gamer warming up earlier.
1-0. Slider a little away, and he couldn't get Sirota to bite on it. The count 2-0, and again, Broderson falling behind. And Sean Gamlin is running around in that bullpen trying to stay loose and get himself up and active again. Runner on first, no outs. 2-0. Low for ball 3. Make it 7 in a row that Sam Broderson is missed with. Need to throw something in the middle of the strike zone here, you figure. The 3-0. It hits the strike zone at the letters for a called strike, 3-1. Sirota, the Northeastern Husky, has been excellent since joining the Harbor Hawks. They picked him up after he was let go by Brewster. And as a Harbor Hawk, he's increased his batting average 100 points to where it was with the Whitecaps. 3-1. Lifted foul. Popped up along the right field line. Johnny Long might have room. He does. He makes the catch over the shoulder. About halfway between the first base line and the bleachers along the right field line. Johnny Long puts away the first out.
Well, you take him any way you could get him, and a big out there for Broderson, who now Sam has an opportunity to get through this inning facing the minimum. We'll see if Y-D can turn 2, but Shawnuel, who ripped the double off him last time up, digs in.
He was the first batter that Broderson faced when he came in to start the fourth, and Shawnuel smoked his 4th double of the season in the right field corner, wound up scoring. Left-hand hitter, and they'll throw over to Jebb, who's back standing, barely even got off the first base bag before that throw arrived. Shawnuel, the Florida Atlantic University Owl, been a staple for the Harbor Hawks this summer, playing in his 34th game. Hands held way up above his head. The first pitch home is swung on and fouled back, heading out towards the parking lot. But he's been struggling. Last 9 games coming into this one, 2 for 27. That's an .074 average. But still drawing his walks. He's drawn 8 walks in that span. He's 3rd on Cape Cod in free passes. That double today was an important one for him to break the snide he's on, 0-1. Misses high, a fastball. Ideally, if Sean Gamlin comes into this game, you want to be able to give him a clean inning to start fresh without anybody on base and just let him do his thing. He is also a guy who has dealt with command problems, especially of late. Gamlin has walked at least 2 batters in his last 3 outings. Jeb starts and stops, and the 1-1 is a called strike, a fastball.
He did shave, and he's got a killer mustache going. So he said now he can't miss the strike zone with that mustache.
Yes, he thinks that going from the beard to the mustache will aid his strike throwing abilities. That remains to be seen. But it looks like we will find out relatively soon. 3 infielders on the pull side for the left-hand hitter, Nolan Schonwell. Mike Bovey, the only man to the left of second, playing in the shortstop spot. Jeb off first, 1 out, the 1-2. Slider, it bends around the strike zone, misses outside. Carlo, I have a question for you.
Hit me with it.
Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Do you think that that name, that the demarcation between the location and the team name, as the 2-2 heads home with Jeb running, it's fouled off left side? You think that the space occurs between Hyannis and Harbor Hawks or between Harbor and Hawks? Do we think it's the Hyannis Harbor Hawks or the Hyannis Harbor Hawks?
It's a difficult question.
Is there really a way to be able to tell?
The uni says Hyannis, not Hyannis Harbor. That's maybe a tell. But you could still be the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
The 2-2. Taken at the knees, strike 3 called. Ronaldo Cockrum punches out Nolan Schonwell. The second strikeout for Sam Broderson. Big second out in this frame after the leadoff walk.
Broderson's got a chance to get out of this inning after he threw 7 straight balls to begin this game.
Has seemingly found a little bit more of a groove after he missed out of the strike zone. Like you said, Carlo, 7 times to begin this frame. Here's Cole McConnell, another left-hand hitter. You're probably right. I think it is Harbor Hawks as the team name. Jeb's running. The first pitch is low, and Wally Perez can't handle the changeup in the dirt, and Jeb steals the bag uncontested. That's his second of the day.
And he's tied his teammate, Riku Nishida, for the most stolen bases on Cape.
His 24th with his pair today.
So Riku, who's not in the lineup today, probably sitting in that dugout. His record is in jeopardy.
These Harbor Hawks run amok on the base paths. And has definitely played a factor today with the pair of steals for Jeb. The 1-0. This is well outside. Another slider that bent around the plate. Broderson wants a new baseball. It's a 2-0 count to Cole McConnell, who's got a pair of walks and a strikeout today. He's also stolen a base. 4 total steals today for Hyannis. Waldy Perez has barely really gotten a chance to throw a runner out.
I think he's only made 1 throw to the bag, and it was the one where Meza had to leap and snare it out of the air. Other than that, he hasn't had a throw on a runner trying to steal a base reach the base that they're trying to take.
7-4 Hyannis, top half of the 5th. Runner on second, 2 out. 2 balls, no strikes to Cole McConnell. They'll check on Jeb at second as Broderson kicks that leg back towards the second base. Looks at second, Jeb's running to third, and they never pitched it. The throw goes to third, and Jeb is caught stealing. So they did that 2 in a row, that little look back to second. That time it worked. Jeb was going to steal. He's picked off, trying to advance to third. Broderson works through the 5th, works around a leadoff walk, and the stolen base by Jeb. On to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway home here in South Yarmouth. The Red Sox trailing. It's 7-4 Hyannis. been a long time coming, but we're halfway home in this game. We started at 4:30. Now it's about 6:40. 2 hours and 10 minutes later, the Red Sox trail 7-4. Hayden Schott will kick off the home half of the 5th inning with the Red Sox trailing 7-4. The right-hander out of Northeastern, Jordy Allard, working to the left-hand hitter in the first pitch. That split changeup that is foul tipped at home plate for strike one. The sun has come out shining here as we start the bottom of the 5th inning in South Yarmouth, in the shadow of Dennis Yarmouth High School, the home of the Dolphins, and likewise the home of these Y-D Red Sox at Red Wilson Field, just beyond the parking lot. Schott, Cole Carrick, Mike Bovey, middle of the Red Sox order, 3-4-5. The 0-1 is the slider, and it missed around the strike zone. The count 1-1. Red Sox trailing by 3. Hyannis got 5 in the top of the first. Red Sox got 4 of their own in the second. The 1-1, a fastball for a called strike. Hyannis tacked on 2 in the 4th. That's where we stand. Red Sox are trying to avoid their 6th straight loss. It would be their longest losing streak in more than a decade. The 1-2 is chopped on the ground towards short. Mitch Jebb plays the high hop above his left shoulder. His throw to first is in time by a step. So Schott set aside the first out here in the bottom of the 5th for Jordy Allard. And here's Cole Carrick. Cole is 0 for 2. Switch hitter will bat as a left-handed hitter for the first time in this game. Jake Berry, the tall left-hander out of Virginia, went the first 3 1/3. It's been Allard ever since he came in with 2 on and 1 out in the 4th inning. Got through that jam unscathed. Allard's first pitch to Carrick is a changeup in for a called strike. Allard's got 2 different changeups. One is a straight change, one is a split change that has a little more fade on it. But he features both heavily, and that split change is what he's known for. 0-1, swing and a miss. Another changeup, pulled the string on Carrick and spun him into a hole in the ground.
This Y-D Red Sox team has seen 2 of the best relievers on Cape this summer in back-to-back games. Think about Stewart yesterday, Sam, with that nasty slider, and Allard here today has been filthy.
0-2 to Carrick. Swing and a miss. He got him fishing on one in the dirt. Ruiz will tag out Carrick up the first baseline, and 3 pitches, and Carrick dispatched a strikeout for Allard, his second in relief, and quickly 2 out, nobody on in this 5th inning. Here's Mike Bovey. Carrick, who has not started in almost a week due to a sore groin, was aggressive in that at bat and fooled on Allard's off-speed pitches. Here's Bovey, left-hand hitter. First pitch changeup drops in at the knees for strike 1. Bovey today reached on a walk, lined out to right. Scored in front of the Johnny Long 2-run homer back in the second. 0-1 is hit on the ground towards short. 2 hops for Mitch Jebb, plays it off to his left. His throw on to first in plenty of time. A very quick inning for the Northeastern Husky Jordy Allard, who gets the Red Sox in order here in the bottom of the 5th. On to the 6th we go. The Red Sox trailing the Harbor Hawks. It's 7-4 here in the penultimate home game for the Red Sox season, the 2022 at Red Wilson Field.
Hey fans, Devinheim is the official website development company of the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. They designed and developed our website and help us with marketing to bring more fans to the games and more visitors to our website. Devinheim helps organizations generate more leads and maximize their marketing budget. Check out devinheim.com to learn more and be sure to like Devinheim on Facebook. That's DEVADIGM.com. Devinheim.com.
To the 6 we go here at Red Wilson Field. Sam Lebowitz alongside Carlo Jimenez on the Red Sox Broadcast Network here in the second to last home game, the third to last game period for the Red Sox. And it's not gone according to plan as of late. The Red Sox have lost 5 in a row, in danger of a 6th straight loss as they trail here to Hyannis 7-4 in the middle innings. Top 6. And Sam Broderson goes to work once again against Cole McConnell, left-hand hitter. First pitch from the right, he misses down in the dirt for ball 1. McConnell was at the plate when Mitch Jebb was picked off second, trying to advance to third, breaking before the pitch was thrown. That ended the 5th frame. Broderson back out there for a 3rd inning of work. He gave up 2 runs in the 4th, worked around a leadoff walk to Jebb in the 5th, the 1-0. McConnell checks the swing on a high fastball. Did he go? Yes, sir, says the third base umpire, Brandon Johnson. Count 1-1 on McConnell. Broderson trying to settle into his 2nd outing of the summer for Y-D. He was an outstanding late inning reliever for Wingate this year. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Blew a fastball by McConnell, who tipped it into the glove of Waldy Perez.
McConnell doesn't have a hit today. He's just one of 2 batters for Hyannis without a hit. Him and Caleb Spur, the 9-hole hitter.
He has walked twice, though. Stolen a base, also scored a run back in the 5-run Hyannis top of the 1st. Infield plays him straight up. The 1-2 in the dirt, trying to shoot a changeup to that outside corner and missed down at the shoot tops.
And this would be big for Broderson if you're able to retire the first batter of an inning, something he hasn't been able to do.
In fact, the Red Sox have just once retired the leadoff batter in an inning so far today. That was Von Moderer striking out Christian Moore to start the 3rd. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Slider in there for a called strike 3. He got him on the outside corner. Broderson picks up his 3rd K, 2nd in a row if you count the strikeout to Nolan Shawneal before the pickoff back in the 5th. So 1 away here in the 6th. Hyannis leading the Red Sox 7-4. Brings up the catcher Pancho Ruiz with 1 away in the 6th. Right-hand hitter Ruiz. Infield plays him straight up as well. A slight shift in the outfield to the pull side. Ruiz today has reached in all 3 of his trips. The first pitch, a slider in the dirt that misses down and away for ball 1. He singled home a run in the first past the drawn in infield and has taken 2 walks. He's also scored twice today. Ruiz out of San Diego State watches a 1-0. Here it comes, and it's low and in the dirt again. Another off-speed pitch. Pancho, a native of Tijuana, Mexico, where he was born. His birth name is Ildefonso, the 2-0 home. It's a fastball that misses low. Pancho, just a nickname for him, but it's what he's known by just about everybody. And he gets that name from his grandfather, who he gets his baseball bloodlines from as well. Played baseball in Mexico back in the 60s. The 3-0 is a fastball that misses high for ball 4. And Broderson walks his 4th in his 2 1/3 innings of relief. A 1-out base runner brings up Drew Earhart.
It's the first time this summer that Pancho Ruiz has reached 4 times in a game, and the first time he's taken 3 walks. His on-base percentage will surely bump up a lot here today.
It's the 9th walk that the Red Sox have given up. 9 walks. We're only in the 6th. The first pitch to Earhart, right-hand hitter, takes a fastball in the outside corner. Back to Ruiz. His father played for the Tomateros de Culiacan of the Mexican Pacific League back in 1966. Had a 3-home run game back in November of that season. 0-1. Slider hit up in the air to shallow center. Carrick started back, now charges in, has to play it on a hop, and fumbles it as he tries to transfer it quickly to make a throw into second. As Ruiz was late getting to the bag, but slid in safely as Carrick couldn't even get off a throw. It's a single, a softly hit single for Drew Earhart. with now 2 on and 1 out. You wonder if the bright sun that's setting above the high school beyond the third baseline might have had any effect on Carrick there, tracking that ball, seeing that it was down in front of him, because it took him a couple beats to break in on that ball. He kind of stopped off the bat, leaned back, and then sprinted forward and couldn't get there in time. Another right-hand hitter. Here's Tito Flores. Hyannis leads 7-4, a chance for more here in this top of the 6th with 2 on and 1 out. First pitch. Flores checks his swing on a slider in the dirt, and he went around, says the first base umpire, Joseph Caraco.
Sam, you mentioned the walks after the walk to Pancho Ruiz. During this 5-game slide, the Red Sox have nearly walked 5 batters a game. It's been one of the common threads during their longest losing streak of the summer. Struggling with it again today.
Two-tone bat for Flores. 0-1. And he watches outside. They count 1-1. The Michigan Wolverine stands in with a bright blue barrel, a bright blue handle, and a highlighter orange barrel. Split with a strand of silver that curls around the bat at the center point. 1-1. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count 2-1. Broderson for Wingate. He's mostly a late inning guy, but was used to going multiple innings. He went 47 2/3 innings across 25 games. Peers in, gets his sign. 2 balls and a strike, 2 on, 1 out. Red Sox trailing by 3 in the 2-1. Slider, swing and a miss. Good one running away from Flores. Not a guy who really gives up many hits. He held opposing hitters to a 183 batting average. Has only given up 3 hits in this outing. I say only because he's given up 4 walks as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taken in the dirt, missed by Perez. It kicks away from him off the umpire. The runners will advance to second and third as it goes off to the right. Ball took a wicked carom off of Ronaldo Cockrum, off of his, maybe his chest protector, maybe his face mask. Sounded like it might have hit something metal. So the runners advance to second and third. Ruiz at third, Earhart at second. With 1 out, a full count to Tito Flores. Infield in, the pitch is well high, a slider that never really broke much, and the count will reset after the walk as Flores reaches for a second time today, and Christian Moore will hit with the bases loaded and 1 away.
And I'm not really sure how many times you can get Sean Gamlin hot in that bullpen. He's been up and at him 3 different innings. And John Raiola and Scott Pickler having a conversation now.
And Pickler's going to make the move. He's out from the bullpen, taking a slow walk to the mound. And Sam Broderson, in his second outing this summer for the Red Sox, was asked to maybe extend a little further than he's used to, and maybe a little further than he has in a while. After the Red Sox only got 1 out of their starter today. Vaughn Moderer got 2 2/3 for the Red Sox, but only got them through 3. Broderson asked to complete a 3rd inning in relief. He can't. He will leave with the bases loaded and 1 away here in this top of the 6th. Sean Gamlin, with his brand new mustache, will enter the game with the sacks full of Harbor Hawks and only 1 out. He'll face Christian Moore, a right-hand batter. We'll take a quick break. Rhode Island College's finest, Sean Gamlin, enters for the Red Sox to make his 11th appearance on the summer. And it's not gone very well for Gamlin as of late. He faces Christian Moore with the bases full of Harbor Hawks, only one out here with the Hyannis team leading 7-4 over the Red Sox, top of the 6th. Gamlin, his last 3 outings, has only completed 2 innings total over those 3 outings. He's walked 2 batters in each of those 3 outings. Can't walk a guy here who would force in a run. Right on right from the first base side of the rubber with only 1 away. The base is full, and the first pitch to Moore is a swing and a miss on a cutter running down and away. Cutters and sliders and sinkers from Sean Gamlin helped him strike out 66 batters in just 28 2/3 innings this year for Rhode Island College, a Division III school. Sets at the belt, takes a deep breath, deals an 0-1. Fouled off right side, and Gamlin has come out and gotten ahead of his first hitter 0-2. And that's exactly what the Red Sox need. Red Sox pitching today, 3 different arms have combined to walk 10 Harbor Hawks through the first 5 1/3 innings. Part of the reason why they lead 7-4. They also scored 5 runs in the first inning. That'll generally help the cause. Gamlin ahead of Moore, with the bases loaded, 1 out. No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, he got him. Blew a fastball right by him. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, see you later. Christian Moore, he strikes out for a 3rd time today. And now Caleb Spur, the DH, who's the only Hyannis batter who has not yet reached base today. He's got a pair of strikeouts and a flyout. The designated hitter out of Endicott College. And Gamlin, who shaved his beard into a mustache after his last outing in that 9-1 loss against Orleans, when he walked 2 of the 3 hitters he faced, figured that, hey, maybe a mustache will help you throw strikes more. It's been working so far with that 3-pitch strikeout to the first hitter he faced. Another right-hand hitter. Here's the first one. And Spur takes up and away a cutter.
He's also got about 3 or 4 buttons on that uniform unbuttoned.
Just a bit of a different look in general for Sean. He's not wearing anything underneath that uniform top, and he's got the high socks hiked up to his knees.
And no glasses.
No glasses either. Usually rocks those rec specs. But today, maybe going with contacts. Bases full of Harbor Hawks. They lead 7-4. 1 ball, no strikes to Spur with 2 out. Gamlin deals. Half swing, he went around on a slider in the dirt. Home plate umpire Renato Cockrum making that call himself. A 1-1 count on Spur. Caleb Spur in just his 3rd game with the Harbor Hawks. He was 3 for 7 over his first 2 coming into this game. A ball and a strike to him right on right. And Gamlin fires a cutter that bends up and in. Count 2-1. He was an all-star for the Pittsfield Suns prior to coming to the Harbor Hawks. In 30 games, he hit .333 with 18 driven in. Had a hit in the all-star game. He's ahead, 2 balls and a strike with the bases loaded, 2 out. Gamlin fires, and it's popped up right side of the infield, and he'll head back out of play. Untouched beyond the fencing. The count levels at 2-2.
Big chance for Gamlin to set him down, and would be big for this Y-D team to leave him stranded today, and big for Gamlin's confidence going forward.
Looking much more in control of the strike zone coming out of the pen with the bases full. He struck out Christian Moore on 3 pitches to get the 2nd out of the inning. Now a 2-2 count on the 9-hole hitter Caleb Spur. Gamlin rocks. Gets his sign, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. High fastball, he blew it right by him. That's more like the Sean Gamlin we're used to. He comes in and strikes out a pair, strands the bases loaded, and the Harbor Hawks can't score in the top half of the sixth. Bottom half coming up. Red Sox need to rally. They trail 7-4. The bottom half of the sixth, Red Sox trailing 7-4, and Jordy Allard had to wait a bit of time in the bottom half. And Jordy Allard had to wait a little bit of time in the top half of this sixth inning. The Harbor Hawks got the bases loaded with 2 walks and a single off Sam Broderson, but John Gamlin came in with 1 out, struck out a pair to strand those sacks full of Hawks. The bottom of the sixth, we'll start with Johnny Long against the Northeastern righty Jordy Allard. Johnny has the loudest swing of any Red Sox today. He had a 2-run homer back in the second. First pitch to him right on right. He swings at it and lifts it foul along the right field line to the opposite field. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Gunnar Antillian, Dom Freeberger to follow, 6 through 8 in the Red Sox order. 0-1 is chopped slowly off of Long's foot. It's a foul ball as he crumples into a pile at home plate before shaking it off. Quickly the count, 0-2 on Johnny. Has also grounded into a fielder's choice. The home run was his 5th on the season. It's the 6th inning, which means 6th inning trivia contest time, as Johnny will make sure he's healthy enough to resume this at bat after taking that foul off his foot. 6th inning trivia brought to you by Cox & Media and Pixie 103. Cape Cons Rock will give you today's trivia question. You'll answer the question before the next home game. That's 2 days from now by going to ydredsox.com/trivia. Answer correctly, you'll be eligible to win a Y-D Red Sox game-used jersey signed by the official Y-D Red Sox 2022 team roster. Today's trivia question, which member of last year's roster, the 2021 Y-D Red Sox team, has a father who is enshrined in the halls at Cooperstown, New York, a baseball Hall of Famer? Don't forget to submit your answer at ydredsox.com/trivia. Good luck. So after a brief conversation with Scott Pickler up the third baseline, Johnny Long appears good enough to resume the at-bat. The 0-2 to him is swung on and missed for strike 3. So after a bit of a pause in the action, as Johnny made sure that that front foot was okay after taking a foul, Long swings and misses at the last pitch of the at-bat. He strikes out on 3 straight from Allard. First out here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Gunnar Antillian, who has a single in 2 trips today, another right-hand hitter. First pitch, he swings at it, lines it softly towards third, picked up nicely by Earhart on a short hop. He throws across his in time.
And Tyler Langenberg is warming up in that Hyannis bullpen. This might be it for Allard. He hasn't gone more than 2 innings until this outing.
He's gone 2 2/3 so far. Faces Dom Freeberger for a first time. Freeberger has a walk. He also reached on an error. The first pitch to the right-hand hitter misses down and outside.
Red Sox saw Langenberger in that 5-2 loss, and the umpire game.
1-0 is a splitter in the dirt, and the count 2-0 on Freeberger. If he can reach Y-D Perez, the catcher, the on-deck hitter. Y-D's twice reached today without the benefit of a hit. 2-0. Bounced left side right at Earhart. He takes a high hop right to the chest, fields it cleanly, throws to first in plenty of time. 8 batters faced, 8 batters retired for Jordy Allard out of the Harbor Hawks bullpen, quieting any chance that the Red Sox may have at coming back in this one. If they're going to come back, it'll be in the final 3 frames of this one. On to the 7th we go, and Carlo Jimenez will take you through to the end of this ball game. We'll be right back.
We welcome you back to Y-D Red Sox Baseball here on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Carlo Jimenez, to my right, my good friend Sam Lebowitz, our producer Zack Clapp, hanging out with you here at Red Wilson Field for the penultimate home game of the summer of 2022 during the regular season. Sean Gamblin remains the pitcher for the Y-D Red Sox. He will face the top of the lineup for Hyannis as we begin the top of the 7th inning. 7-4, Harbor Hawks looking to take their 3rd game against these Y-D Red Sox and hand Y-D their 6th straight loss. Red Sox in a free fall, and Hyannis 7 runs on the board, trying to keep the losing streak going. Mitch Jebb, the left-handed batter, looks on, facing the right arm of Gamblin, working from the first base side of the rubber. Sean sets the belt. His first pitch home, and Jebb takes a fastball low. 1 ball and no strikes. Couple defensive changes for Y-D. Ryan Proto is behind the plate. Johnny Long out of the game. Subbing in for him is Robbie Burnett. And because of that, Burnett moves on to second, and Tillian slides from second to third. Bovee slides from third to first. Base is empty. Gamblin, who works with no rush, 1-0. And Jebb nubs one left side of the infield. Haydeen scoops it up. The shortstops throw to first in time. For the 2nd time today, Mitch Jebb is retired. The most dangerous hitter in the lineup, set down to begin the 7th inning. Here's Mike Sirota with 1 out and the base is empty. Hyannis leads 7-4.
Feel like you pat yourself on the back anytime you can get Mitch Jebb out, because as of late, nobody has been able to get Jebb out. His 4-game hitting streak prior to coming into this one, he was 11 for 16. That's a .687 batting average, Carlo. He also had 2 walks in that span, and he reached in 3 of his first 4 trips today. So kudos to Sean Gamblin for doing what few have done lately and getting out Mitch Jebb.
He turns the page to the righty, Mike Sirota. First pitch, fastball misses up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. 5 runs in the first, 2 in the fourth for Hyannis, 4 in the bottom of the second for Y-D. And the Red Sox with a win today, a Brewster loss or tie can clinch the Eastern Division. We've been saying that for 8 days. Gamlin's 1-0. Fastball down Broadway. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. The last win for the Y-D Red Sox came last Friday against the Wareham Gatemen. Mike Sirota, a single today. He's 1 for 3 with a walk and a run. Infield swung over to the left side. 1-1. Slider misses low. The count, 2 balls and a strike. The second baseman, the new second baseman, Robbie Burnett, is playing to the left of second. Sun is out, but it is behind the clouds at the moment. Most of the fans here at Red Wilson have started to go home as we reach dinner time. Gamlin's 2-1. Sirota appraises a high fastball. 3 balls and a strike. Down the left field line, there are just about 15, 20 or so people on that berm that was full, standing room only to begin the game. Still a good crowd out in straightaway center, but in right center and then left center, not many fans here at Red Wilson. Gamlin's 3-1. Sirota swings and misses through a fastball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Flag blowing gently and left. Sean Gamlin leaving the eyeglasses in the dugout, a new mustache, and trying to start a new phase of this 2022 season. His 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Chasing the cutter, Mike Sirota strikes out, the 3rd strikeout for Sean Gamlin, who retires 4 in a row to begin his outing. And he takes on Nolan Shanuel.
Gamer's looking like a new man after the recent struggles with that mustache. He looks like a new man, but out on the mound, he's really looking much, much more in control. 4 up, 4 down for him after coming in with the bases loaded.
He takes on the lefty Shanuel, who holds his hands above his head. The bat about 3 inches above his helmet. First pitch. Fastball paints the inner edge. No balls and 1 strike. Infield moves from the left side to the right side. Hadeen goes from shortstop to the right of second base. In the hole, Robbie Burnett with both his feet in shallow right field. Mike Bovey down the first base line. Defense is well back. Cole Carrick almost with his back against the wall in straightaway center. 0-1. Fastball swinging a low looper into center field, and because Carrick's playing back, that's a base hit. Second hit of the game for Nolan Shanuel. And it's a 2-out knock. Keeps the top of the 7th going. Here's Cole McConnell.
Surprisingly enough, that's just the 4th hit all summer that Sean Gamlin has allowed, but the walk total twice that. He's given up 8 walks, part of the reason why his ERA is currently above 4. But Sean, I think he put it best, is that he doesn't give up hits. When he was asked about his weaknesses out on the mound, he said, they don't really hit me, but sometimes I'll just let them take bases.
First pitch to the lefty out of Louisiana Tech. Here it comes. Fastball off the outer edge. 1 ball and no strike. 7-4 Hyannis leads. We're on the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs. 2-out single from Nolan Shanuel. He's at first with 4 stolen bases this summer. Cole McConnell with his blue helmet. Grips the handle of his black-dipped bat. Gamlin's right toe on the first base side of the rubber. Defense playing straight up against the left-handed batter. 1 out. Slider misses high. 2 balls and no strikes. That last hit, the 9th of the game for Hyannis, juxtaposed with the 3 hits for Y-D. Not much offense today for the Red Sox. 2 of those hits, though, for extra bases. Burnett backpedals at second into the outfield grass. Here's the 2-0. Fastball, swing and a miss, but it pops away from the catcher, Proto, over towards the vacant on-deck circle of the Y-D Red Sox, and a free 90 feet for Nolan Shanuel. On the wild pitch. Runner in scoring position for Cole McConnell, who is one of the leaders on Cape Cod in RBIs. Does not have one today, doesn't have a hit today. He's walked twice and struck out twice, currently in the midst of a 2-1 count. Sun disappearing a little, and you wonder how much light is left in this game, Sam. We've already played nearly 3 hours of baseball. Gamlin with the jet black mustache comes set at the bell. Runner at second and 2 gone in the top of the 7th. Here's the 2-1. Fastball and is swinging a high fly ball. McConnell gets under. He lifts it into left field. The center fielder Carrick runs into the left fielder, Homer Bush Jr., and makes the catch. Almost a disaster for Y-D, but the baseball finds a leather, and we head to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch here at Red Wilson Field. 1 hit, 1 left on. No runs come across. Y-D needs some offense, and they need it quick here at Red Wilson. We welcome you back to Red Wilson Field here on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 7th, after stretch time, the Y-D Red Sox are looking to shrink the 7-4 Hyannis Harbor Hawk lead as the 9-1-2 hitters are due up for Y-D. It begins with Robbie Burnett, left-handed batter, first pitch, and he takes a changeup in the dirt. And they count 1 ball and no strikes. Jordy Allard's still out there. He has worked 2 2/3 so far and has sat down 8 in a row. 1-0. Burnett takes a fastball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. So it's Robbie Burnett in the 9 spot.
Yes.
And then Ryan Proto in the 7 spot. The 1-1. And Burnett taps a changeup foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Burnett in for Perez, and Proto in for Johnny Law. Got it? Got it. We were told today that we're apparently a very helpful broadcast for the official scorers because we're always on top of Coach Pick's wild substitutions.
Never plays just 9. 1-2. Changeup misses low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Suns starting to dwindle down the third base line. It is maybe now or never for these Y-D Red Sox in lightless Red Wilson Field. 2-2. Burnett hits one sharply on the ground, past the diving first baseman, shot it well, and into right field, a base hit. A good start for the Red Sox. They get a single from their 9-hole hitter, Robbie Burnett. That brings up Homer Bush Jr. with 1 on and nobody out in the bottom of the 7th.
9th hitter that faces Allard, first runner to reach against him. He's been outstanding in the bullpen for Hyannis all summer, and including today. 8 up and 8 down to start his outing, but a leadoff runner for the Red Sox, exactly what they need now at the top of the order coming up.
First hit since the 4th inning for Y-D. Here's the opening offering to the ready, and Bush watches a fastball miss low. 1 ball and no strikes. Red Sox trying to end a 5-game losing streak, looking for their first win of the summer against Hyannis. In their final regular season matchup. 1-0 is a fastball down Broadway. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bush, a 2 RBI double back in the second. 1-1, and he swings and misses at a splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Braden Montgomery has a bat in his hands. I think if the Red Sox maybe can get Bush aboard as the tying run in the batter's box, you might see Montgomery pinch hit.
1-2. Bush takes the ball in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Almost everyone who was here for first pitch has gone home. Some fans sticking around trying to see if the Y-D Red Sox can climb back. Cloud cover blanketing the sun at lightless Red Wilson. 2-2. Homer breaks his bat as he rolls one to third. The third baseman, Urin, goes to second for one. Turn to first, not even close. With Homer Bush's speed, he beats it out with ease. Burnett is retired on the fielder's choice. And here's Woody Hayden with 1 on and 1 out. Hayden burst onto the scene yesterday with a fantastic 2-hit, 2-walk day for Y-D, but today has been a different story. He's 0 for 3. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Opening offering. Change up, misses low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Light breeze out to left. The sky mostly gray with the clouds. At first, Bush, 1-0. Fastball catches the outer edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sam, Homer Bush Jr. has really, really good speed. Maybe the best on Cape, but with the 3-run deficit, do you keep him at first?
I would think against it. I think if you have a chance, send him.
1-1, fastball, nicks the outer edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out.
But Allard's pretty quick to home plate. And Pancho Ruiz has thrown out 5 base stealers so far this season. Just 5 of 36, but still has a decent arm. It's a risk. But if he gets a jump, I would send him.
1-2, Homer not running, and the changeup bounces in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 7-4. Hyannis leads Y-D. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Dean, who was voted Appalachian League All-Star Game MVP after a 2-run home run and scoring the game-winning run just last week. 2-2, and he swings and chops one slow roller to second. Charging in, the second baseman Moore. He gloves belt high and underhand flips to first. On to second goes Homer Bush Jr. on the ground out. So after a leadoff single by Burnett, fielder's choice, then a 4-3. And trying to keep this bottom of the 7th alive, it's Hayden's shot. Shot with the blonde hair flowing out of the back of his helmet. Left-handed batter. Opening offering. And he swings and hits one sharply on the ground. The shortstop, Jeb, has trouble with it. It gets by him. Bush rounds third. He comes home and scores. And a run is across. It's a 2-run game. On the air by the shortstop, Mitch Jeb. That brings the tying run to the plate. It's 7-5. Hyannis leads Y-D.
Take anything you can get if you're a struggling Red Sox team, and now maybe you got some life. Just 1 base runner aboard means you have the tying run at home plate. And Cole Carrick will try to keep things going. Cole playing for the first time in a starting role in about a week is hitless today, but he's been the Red Sox most productive offensive hitter in terms of getting the base hits this season. And he'll try to keep things going.
And that might be it for Allard after giving up just 1 hit in his 3 1/3. Eric Beatty pops out of the pen, and we'll see if we're going to get a pitching change for Hyannis. No signal just yet. Runner at first. Carrick only has 1 home run this summer. It was in the first game of the summer. 1 here would tie this. Y-D fell behind 5-0 after an inning. And they're going to keep Allard out there. Red Sox scored 4 in the bottom of the second to make it a 1-run game. Hyannis put 2 on the board in the fourth to make it 7-4. Red Sox add a tally on the E6. It's 7-5, and we'll see if Carrig can keep the line moving with 2 outs. Hayden shot at first. Hasn't had a stolen base this summer, only 2 with Columbia in the spring. The flag drifts out the left, and Carrig, switch hitter, batting from the left side, looks on. First pitch, a fastball, he rolls foul. Over to the on-deck circle of Hyannis. No balls and 1 strike. Carrig with a red arm sleeve on that left arm, starting today for the first time in nearly a week. And searching for his first hit. 0-1. This is off the outer edge. Changeup can't find the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Allard letting out a grunt there. You wondered maybe he's starting to tire. He's gotten 10 outs for these Harbor Hawks.
1-1. Carrig looks at the changeup that catches the inside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cole taps the plate once. The maroon barrel on his bat. He waves it in front of him and now wants time. Leading at first is Hayden Schott. As some geese fly overhead at Red Wilson. 1 on, 2 outs, 7-5. Hyannis leads Y-D. 1-2. Carrig pokes one into right field, a base hit. Charging in the right fielder, Sirota. It skips by him. Hayden Schott stumbled at second. He's on his way to third. He gets the stop sign. Cole Carrig with a head-first dive into second. And 2 in scoring position with 2 out. A hit, then an error. And all of a sudden, Y-D has the tying runs in scoring position for Mike Bovee.
And now a hit could tie this game for a Red Sox team desperate just to get a score even over these last 5 ball games, now 6 today. Mike Bovee had a pair of hits last night, hitless today, but he's been a big bat for the Red Sox when healthy this summer. This, the biggest at-bat of the game for the Y-D Red Sox.
Shot at third, Carrig at second. First pitch. Left-handed batter takes a strike. Fastball down the middle. No balls and 1 strike. 7-5 Hyannis. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The tying runs are in scoring position for Bovee with 2 outs. 0-1. Mike takes the changeup low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gray skies overhead. The flag stoic in left. And the fans who have remained few and far between. And they're going to intentionally walk Bovee on a 1-1 count to get to Ryan Proto. And we'll see if Braden Montgomery gets into this game. And I think that's what Scott Pickler is going to do, Sam, because he hasn't.
You got to think about it, because that would mean you have to use either Cole Carrig to catch or Fernando Gonzalez, and that's what's going to happen. Pickler just went and chatted with Cole Carrig and said, "Can you catch for me?"
And Carrig gave him a nod. And so here is Brady Montgomery with the tying runs in scoring position and the go-ahead at first. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 7-5. Hyannis leads Y-D. And here's the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year who will try to give the Red Sox the lead. With the tying runs in scoring position, the go-ahead at first.
You can't think too big here if you're Braden. I know you have the power. He's already hit 1 grand slam this summer. You just need a base hit.
First pitch, left-handed batter, swings and misses, trying to put that one over the fence. No balls and 1 strike on the fastball. Decent speed at third in Schott. Fantastic speed at second in Cole Carrig. Mike Bovee leads at first, an average runner, 0-1. Montgomery rolls one first side, charging the second baseman Moore. He gloves, he underhand, flips to first, and Jordy Allard smacks his glove 3 times, hiked up as he gets out of the bases loaded. Y-D brings 1 across. They threaten, but leave the tying runs in scoring position. We are through 7 here at Red Wilson Field, and the Y-D Red Sox are down 2. We'll see if we have an 8th here at Red Wilson. We welcome you back to Y-D Red Sox baseball, and we've been told this is it, the final inning here at Red Wilson Field. Due up for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, Pancho Ruiz, Drew Erhand, and Tito Flores. They'll be taking on the right arm of Sean Gamblin. Hyannis 7-5 lead in the final matchup of the regular season between these two teams, looking to grab their third win against Y-D. Right-handed batter of Ruiz looks on towards Gamblin. Here's the first pitch up. A fastball catches the outer edge. Our third catcher of the game, Cole Carrick, moves from center to behind home plate, catching for the first time this summer. In center, replacing him is the left fielder Bush. Dom Freeberger moves from right to left, and in right for the first time is Braden Montgomery. That's how Y-D lines up defensively. Gamblin sets his toe on the first base side of the rubber, 0-1. Fastball, swing and a miss. And Sam Carrick has now, we believe, played every position except left field and right this summer.
Left field and first base.
And first base.
He has played some right field. Cole certainly probably could easily play some left field if you asked him to, and I'm sure he would be more than willing to play some first. He's also pitched twice. He's done it all.
Catcher gear for the first time on for Carrick, the 0-2. And Ruiz pokes one down the first base line, foul. Cole did take reps behind the plate at Fenway Day. Worked out as a catcher, has a cannon of a right arm. We've seen it shown off in center. And behind the plate, trying to help Sean Gamblin retire Pancho Ruiz for the first time today. Ruiz has walked 3 times, singled once. Nobody out, 7-5 Hyannis. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball, look out. Ruiz leans back and ends up on the dirt, up towards his eyebrows, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Cole last summer in Anchorage in the Alaskan League played in 4 games as a catcher, and this year for San Diego State, he got into 5 games as a catcher.
Flag drifts out and left. Dark skies overhead at lightless Red Wilson. This is the final inning. Gamer sets belt high. 1-2. And Ruiz fights off another high fastball. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it's not an easy 3 batters here for Sean Gamblin. Although it is the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Ruiz, Erhand, and Flores have only been retired twice between them. 3 batters, only been retired twice. They've all come up 4 times. 1-2. Fastball misses high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gamblin pins the black glove on his left hip, twirling the ball in his right hand. He brings ball to glove, stretches his arms above his head, comes set at the letters. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Ruiz chases the cutter and strikes out. That's number 4 for Sean Gamblin. And for the first time today, Pancho Ruiz is retired. There's 1 away in the top of the 8th. A good start for Sean Gamblin to his new battery mate, Cole Carrick, and Sam Gamer has looked like a new pitcher with that new mustache and possibly contacts, no glasses, but we're not sure if he's wearing the contacts. First pitch to the righty, Erhand. He bunts one down the third base line. It's a great bunt. Third baseman Antillion has no chance. And a bunt single for Drew Erhand, his 3rd single of the game. And he just catches everyone sleeping, 1 on with 1 out. Here's Tito Flores.
Well, just the second base runner that Gamers allowed the most impressive part. The walks have been an issue for Sean. The last 3 outings, he has 6 combined over those 3 outings in just 2 total innings. But across this outing, he's gotten 6 outs. He has not walked a batter. So it's been a much more in-control Sean Gamblin today. Hey, maybe he's not using contacts. Maybe he's just letting it go with the blurry vision and seeing if it works. But it has in terms of commanding the strike zone.
If it's working, why fix it? First pitch to the righty, Flores, is a fastball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Gamer with a hide-pulled socks out of Rhode Island College, a D3 school from West Kingston, Rhode Island. The outfield swung over to the right against the right-handed bat of Flores. With 1 out, runner at first, 7-5 Hyannis leads top 8. Here comes an 0-1. Look out, misses up and in, almost clipped the right hand of Flores, who takes a long walk up that third baseline. And with a white sleeve on that right arm, digs back in. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Red Sox have the bottom of the lineup due up. See if Gamlin can keep it a 2-run deficit for a Y-D team trying to end a 5-game losing streak. 1-1. Slider catches on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hyannis has left 12 on the base paths today. Red Sox are happy to be down just 2 with how much this offense has reached. They've left somebody on base in every single inning except the 5th. And they had somebody reach in that inning, but Mitch Jebb was caught off the bag. 1-2. Flores bounces one foul down the first base line. Y-D and Hyannis battling for the last time this summer in the regular season. The Red Sox in the last decade plus have never not beaten Hyannis at least once in the regular season. That's in jeopardy here today. Gamers, 1-2. Check swing, did he go? Yes, says first base umpire Joseph Caraco. That's another strikeout for Sean Gamlin, his 5th. And there's 2 gone. With a runner at first in Erhand, here's Christian Moore. Moore, a right-handed batter who's struck out 3 times today, does have a RBI single back in the first. Struck out last time he faced Gamlin with the bases loaded in the 6th. We're in the 8th with 2 outs. Gamer's pitch. And a foul tap back to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. And Sam, what has impressed you the most? You talked about the walks, but command-wise, it seems like Gamlin has attacking hitters.
Well, Sean just doesn't throw anything straight. Between the sinkers, the cutters, the sliders, everything's moving. And so sometimes when he falls into a bit of a rut command-wise, he'll just try to throw it down the middle and let the pitch do what it's supposed to do movement-wise. And he's been around the plate today all day.
0-1, swing to miss. No balls and 2 strikes.
He's getting lots of those, lots of whiffs, guys swinging through pitches. But he also really hasn't fallen behind guys. When he has missed, he's been able to recommand and get back into the strike zone.
One thing that Y-D has struggled with over this losing streak is allowing other teams to tack on runs late. Can Gamlin keep this a 2-run game? Erhand at first, 2 outs, 0-2. Fastball above the zone. Carrick pops up out of his squat, making his first catching appearance of the summer, in the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 8-9 hitters in this lineup for Hyannis have struck out 6 times. Hyannis as a team today has struck out 13 times. Erhand a healthy lead at first. No stolen bases for him this summer. 1-2. Swinging a tapper off the end of the bat. Long run for the second baseman, Burnett. He gloves, throws to first, in time for the out. Robbie Burnett showing off his speed to get to that baseball, going across his body from the infield grass, and what a 3 innings for Sean Gamlin. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox final chance. They need 2 runs. They have 3 outs. It's 7-5. Hyannis leads. to the bottom of the 8th inning, but you can call it the bottom of the 9th. This is the final chance for the Y-D Red Sox as they trail the Hyannis Harbor Hawks by a score of 7-5. The 5-game losing streak hangs in the balance. Can Y-D get a couple of runs and at least come away with a tie? It'll be up to the bottom of the lineup. Gunnar Antillion, the right-handed batter, digs in to face the new pitcher on the mound, the righty out of Iowa, Ty Langenberg. 3.92 ERA. Langenberg making his 11th appearance. He has struck out 28 and walked 4. Right-handed pitcher looks on. First pitch home. Antillion takes a fastball low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. And Sam, from the look of it, this is about the darkest we've played baseball here at Red Wilson. No lights. And it's almost 3.5 hours in. 1-0. Antillion swings and misses at a high fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Almost reminiscent of the last time the Harbor Hawks were here when they tied that game late and the Red Sox had to try to fight through darkness for a walk-off run. Were unable to do so in an eventual tie.
1-1. Antillion looks at a fastball that catches the outer edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Been a season of 2 different Ty Langenbergs for the Harbor Hawks.
1-2. Antillion takes high on the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's made 10 appearances. About 8 of them have been excellent, but 2 of them have been very bad, in which he's given up 4 runs each.
2-2. Antillion looks at a slider low and away. Full count to the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 8th inning in a 7-5 Hyannis lead. Nobody out, nobody on.
That included his last outing against Katuitt. He gave up 4.
3-2. Antillion swings and misses, chases a high fastball, and strikes out. 29th strikeout of the summer for Ty Langenberg. And in stands Caden Connor as Gunnar Antillion walks back to the dugout. Gives some words of advice to Caden Connor, who is pinch hitting for Dom Freeberger. Left-handed batter digs in against the righty. Flag stoic in left. Streaks of clouds across the sky in the penultimate home game of the summer for the Y-D Red Sox, trying to end a 5-game free fall. 6-game losing streak would be the most in over a decade. First pitch, the lefty shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a fastball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Red Sox had the tying runs in scoring position in the 7th, unable to bring either of them home. Langenberg from the first base side of the rubber, 0-1. Changeup misses away. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out, French fries on the board. The 1-1. Caden takes a fastball that catches the inside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Caden Connor has been hitting well as of late. Hits in 10 of his last 11 games with a .351 average. He's coming off a 2-hit day against Falmouth yesterday. Langenberg's 1-2. Connor looks at a fastball up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. How many fans have remained here at Red Wilson? 30 or so people around the ballpark trying to see if the Red Sox can come back and end the agony. 2-2. Connor swings and misses and strikes out. Another fastball, another K, and Y-D down to their final out. Hyannis on the precipice of winning their 3rd of 4 this summer against the Red Sox. The other game, the 2 teams tied here at Red Wilson. Here's Robbie Burnett, who singled his last time up in the 7th. As the left-handed batter looks on. Defense playing Burnett straight up. In at third a little bit is Erhan. First pitch home. Burnett skies one down the left field line. Long run for the left fielder, Flores, but he watches it curl away from him and drift foul. No balls and 1 strike. Red Sox final 2 games. They go to Chatham tomorrow. Chatham trying to fight for that final playoff spot in the West. And then come home to take on Brewster in which could be a game for the top of the conference. 0-1 misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Y-D had an 11-point lead in the East. And Brewster with an early advantage on Orleans trying to take more points off the board. 1-1. Burnett pops one up, left side, moving in the left fielder, Flores. He camps out under it. He makes the catch, and that does it. 3 up, 3 down for Ty Langenberg. He puts Y-D down in order. The Red Sox lose their 6th straight for the first time in over a decade as they fall 7-5 to the Hyannis Harborhawks. Well, not Y-D's day as we welcome you into the booth here at Red Wilson Field. Carlo Jimenez alongside Sam Lebowitz. And Sam, for the 2nd straight day, Y-D had the tying runs in scoring position, could not get it done.
Yeah, a little bit too little, too late for the Red Sox in that regard. They did climb that hill that they created for themselves, the 5-run first inning for the Harborhawks. They put 5 runs on the scoreboard, but in a similar vein as the last few games for the Red Sox, tack-on runs that the bullpen gave up came back to bite the Red Sox. Those tack-on runs were in the 4th inning against Sam Broderson. He gave up 2. Those were the last runs that Hyannis scored, the last runs scored on that side against the Red Sox bullpen, all the way back in the 4th inning, and the Red Sox just couldn't come back from that game. They got it to 5-4, but 7-4 is a whole different ball game. And in a game where, frankly, Carlo, you give them 10 hits on the scoreboard and 10 walks, that's 20 base runners. It's just too much for your offense to make up for.
Where do you go from here if you're Y-D, Sam? 6 losses in a row, the most you've had in the last decade plus, and a team that could possibly lose the division going against a Chatham squad that is desperate for a win tomorrow.
And Chatham's already given up 10 runs to Harwich tonight. They're losing 10-5 as we speak right now. The Red Sox have fared well in baseball games in Chatham. They've won both times they've played the Anglers at Veterans Field. You hope it's the friendly confines tomorrow night because you don't want to go into the last day of the season risking this division lead. Right now, Brewster is also winning. They got a 2-spot on Patrick Riley, the standout from Vanderbilt for Orleans in the 1st inning out at Orleans. That's only in the 2nd inning there. So if that score holds, it's just a 2-point lead for the Red Sox in the Eastern Division with 2 left to play. There's a very real scenario that this streaking Brewster team that is getting hot at the perfect time with the Red Sox reeling could go into the final matchup between Brewster and the Red Sox here on the last day of the season with a chance to come all the way back and win this division title. It's not without of the realm of possibilities. The Red Sox do still have a little bit of breathing room, especially if Brewster's able to pick up a couple of losses.
Well, we will find out tomorrow. First pitch at 7 o'clock. Sam Lebowitz will have it for you in the Y-D Red Sox finals road game of the summer in the regular season at Veterans Field. For Carlo Jimenez, Sam Lebowitz, our producer, Zack Clapp, we are saying so long from Red Wilson. The Y-D Red Sox have lost 6 in a row for the first time in over a decade. They fall 7-5 to the Hyannis Harborhawks.